everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gambit Prevails. and Zareth, what is this Gambit madness you're spouting? Well, hypothetical fake person who is kind. This is kind of just dumb, but let me answer your question anyways. The Gambit is the podcast that myself and my co-host SoloBase15 put on weekly about Grand Arena. And we have another group, a Gambit alliance of other creators who also make Grand Arena stuff. They stream their GACs. They're good players. End all be all, Klesso, Ando90, and then me and Solo. So we got together. We're doing a podcast, and normally we put this on our Gambit YouTube channel. I mean, it's like, there's no subs on it, though. No one knows. No one even sees when we post things on it. Normally, we just do it on Twitch, but we wanted a little bit more. We wanted a little wider distribution, so they kind of all just pushed me into putting it onto my own YouTube channel. So there's not going to be any ads. All ads will be turned off for this. And it's a podcast, but we did stream it on Twitch, so you guys can watch us. If you don't know what End All looks like, you're in for a treat. So take a look at that. And one thing I just want to keep in mind. So first off, we talk about 3v3, and that's why I'm posting it now. Everyone needs a little extra 3v3 wisdom at this point. But the other thing I want to mention, though, is toward the end, and this is a really long podcast. For the record, it's pretty long. At some point, we crash, and I just kind of. And then we started up again and continued on for like over half an hour again until we crash again. So I just kind of like glued the two streams together on this video. So at one point we'll just like stop talking, and then we'll be like, and we're back up, and it'll be like totally seamless and non-awkward at all. So I'm sure. Anyways, guys, if you want to actually just download it on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, link in the video description. You should be able to find us pretty easy. And yeah, we do this weekly. I'm actually, right after I stop recording this little blurb and start rendering it, I'm going to jump on to the live stream for the actual, the weekly Gambit podcast that we do, where it's just me and SoloBase. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, or don't, or whatever. We'd love to have you come hang out with us live, or listen to us non-live, whatever you want to do. So, all right, this intro is probably too long anyways for an already long podcast, so I hope you guys enjoy, and 3v3 is right around the corner, guys. Let's get hyped, even if we don't want to. Let's do it, I guess. It's ours to do. All right, guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome for our first ever GAC roundtable, where you can see all these lovely faces sitting on the screen. I am SoloBase15, for those of you that don't know. I'm here with my good friend Zareth and our good friends Klesso, Endall, and Ando. You guys should know them all. They've been on before, but we're here for a fun Friday night. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, very well. Thank you guys so much, man. This is awesome.
I'm okay.
The only thing I'm missing is Zareth's hung unit in the background.
Oh.
Good point.
And actually, we're also missing Zareth. This is a behind-the-scenes thing of going, guys, I'll be right back. I need to get my tea. Because he's actually drinking alcohol tonight. So welcome to the party, Zareth.
Thank you. It is quite the party.
We're about 20 minutes away from Zareth saying, and another thing.
This isn't where I parked my car. Hey, Solo, did you hit the record button on this so we could do it for podcast?
Crap. No, let me start it now.
Oh, dang it, dude. It's ruined. All right, restart it.
That's it.
Dude, I already used all my best jokes.
All right. So, now that the recording has actually started for the podcast, why don't we go around the horn with introductions. We'll start with you, Klesso. Tell the people who you are and what you're drinking tonight.
Everyone knows me. Plesso. Well, everyone that's in the chat, I'm sure. We all watch each other. Got my YouTube, got my Twitch for GAC. We all see each other behind the dumpster at Arby's. We know. We're good. No, I'm drinking some Jim Beam and some tonic water. So that's it. Nice.
All right. Endall, how about you? What are you drinking tonight?
I am having a Angel's Envy bourbon with a Death Star ice cube, so Star Wars themed drink. And I've got my I don't do Twitch, but I've got my own YouTube channel where I only stream GAC streams. So come and hang out from time to time and listen to me talk about GAC, which is probably the only thing keeping me in the game so far.
Yeah, seriously. Endall, it looks like your camera actually froze.
It's frozen carbonite.
Let me see if I can restart it.
Yeah, we have you looking very intently at the screen. And now people's pictures are going to be, oh, look at that. All right, now you're back.
Oh.
Oh, but you froze again. Weird.
Interesting.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm now Endall.
You are. Well, while Endall tries to fix that. Ando, what about you? What are you drinking tonight?
We got a little bit of Jack Daniels here, so it's going to be good. I always like drinking some whiskey during the winters, so cold nights.
I actually like this. All you guys are back to working again, except for Endall, Zareth, Klesso stayed the same. But Ando is Endall, and Zareth is Ando now. Kind of like this.
I get to be Ando. This is weird.
Yeah. All right, so
I like it more than I assumed. I'll say that.
When did Ando get so attractive? Oh, all right. Well, while I fix that, Zareth, what about you? What are you drinking tonight?
I've got the Captain and Coke. That's what I used to drink in college a lot. It doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck, indeed. And I am drinking beer as usual, but it's called Sex and Candy. I thought it was going to be a fun one for tonight's stream, because that's why we come to these streams for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. The candy, obviously.
It does kind of set the tone.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, guys. So we are here for the first time doing this, and hopefully we can in the future. The idea is to just talk about the Grand Arena round that is upcoming today, or this month is going to be 3v3. So what are all your feelings on this wonderful 3v3 format?
Scared. So I was really, really hoping to get in some new, Galactic Legend testing with Jedi Master Luke and Sith Eternal Emperor. I got a couple guys in my shard, and we were talking about it a couple of days ago, and we just have not done it yet. So there's so many questions right now about, what beats what. And, let's say somebody has, Sith Eternal Emperor. A lot of us haven't seen those in the wild yet. Almost, most people, a lot of people at our level, I should say, have Jedi Master Luke just because he was kind of almost like a gift to everyone that's been playing so long. But I don't know what beats Sith Eternal Emperor right now in 3v3, or Jedi Master Luke, to be fair. But
all I know is I saw a video of Kiawe getting his ass kicked over and over again against Sith Eternal Emperor.
Really?
But yeah, like he has a whole video of just like it's like a defeat reel of just like all these different like non-galactic legend teams just getting their ass handed to them by Sith Eternal Emperor. It's like, oh, Vader's gonna do. Oh, Vader just died again.
Well, so I assume you'll just take in Supreme Leader Kylo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Except for what if they set Rey too? Then what? You just don't clear, or you have to do the burn down method and waste 20 teams.
Well, Endall, weren't you testing Jedi Master Luke against Rey in 3v3?
I did. I've made up my mind. I'm keeping Jedi Master Luke at least on offense, given that the Darth Revan, Basti, and Watt team can 3-man, even a 5-team Jedi Master Luke. So I will probably keep my Jedi Master Luke on offense, and I've been doing some testing, and I think he'll do a decent job against Kylo and Rey at least, and also against other enemy Jedi Master Lukes. The Sith Eternal Emperor, like everyone is saying, that's the big mystery. I haven't played many of those in the wild. Even the guys in my arena shard who have Sith Eternal Emperor, they prefer keeping Kylo or Rey on defense. So you almost never get to play against them.
Yeah. I think I'm basically keeping Supreme Leader Kylo for that Sith Eternal Emperor, just because I have no clue. Honestly, no clue what could beat it otherwise. And then figure out Rey somehow.
Yeah, here you just hit auto with Supreme Leader Kylo. So
right. I have one Sith Eternal Emperor in my shard, and the guy has both Luke and Emperor. So when I ask, he'll set the Emperor to test. I haven't asked for 3v3, but I tried it one time with a 5v5 team. It was ridiculously easy with Kylo, and I was like, all right, that's solved. I don't need to test that one anymore.
Yeah. I even took I've got my one buddy in the shard that always helps me test. He's the only one in the shard that has Sith Eternal Emperor, and he had him. He doesn't even put him on defense. He climbs with him here and there just to play around with his new toy and everything. But I took my Imperial Troopers against it and just waxed it. And I was like, oh man, this is not like. And the ultimate went off. It did nothing. I just kept barreling through.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but in 3v3, I think it might be like God mode. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what's kind of scary.
I mean, 2 people get linked, and then once the ultimate happens, your whole team goes.
Yeah, right. You're gone. It's just, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the last guy's like, guys, where'd you go?
I've been thinking about 3v3 for Sith Eternal Emperor. I mean, he obviously does really well against Jedis or anyone with the large amounts of protection. So you can't use any of the Jedi against him. But and he's got anti-light side synergy as well. So I was thinking about dark side characters who don't really rely on Jedi and don't really rely on protection and rely more on health. So I don't know if a Grievous team can outdamage the team, or maybe I don't know about Night Sisters. But at least Grievous team might be able to at least get it down to a solo Sith Eternal Emperor, and then we just have to see what can clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. First week it's going to be Kylo. That's unfortunately, and I actually just put a speed set on my Jedi Master Luke.
Oh yeah.
So he can handle any rays that I run against. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I've modded my Jedi Master Luke as well. After going the protection route, now I've got him at around 540 speed or something like that, which effectively makes him 580. That way he outspeeds all other GLs and gets the upper hand right away. So at least against Rey's and Kylo's, that's the best modding to go.
I'm picturing my face right now when I'm realizing I'm going to have to remod Jedi Master Luke.
Yeah.
What are you jerks talking about? I got to remod him now for speed?
You do.
I don't have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Up until last night this morning at about 1 o'clock in the morning, I had an offense set with just protection primaries on him. But it just makes sense. If you go before Rey and get the ability block off, she never gets lifeblood out.
Yeah. I mean, the 3v3 testing that I did. The 3v3 testing that I did, Jedi Master Luke with Hoda and Gas, that's able to beat all forms of Rey. Even the Rey Han Chewie combo, it's able to beat it pretty easily. So
that's perfect, because then we can use our Supreme Leader Kylos for
C.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. and gas in 3v3. It's not like you're losing. It's not like you're losing gas in 5v5. Gas in 3v3 is like that kind of. You're really good, but you're not quite the Darth Revan good anymore, too. Which is so it doesn't hurt as much to use him to beat Rey. Like, okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah, dude, it's so amusing to me. I was talking to our, I think most of us know Yeti. I was talking to him on he had an interview show thing that we were doing, and it's so amusing to me. Like it's been like eternally entertaining. In fact, when the Galactic Legends are kind of dominating now, but beyond that, beyond the Galactic Legend discussion, like it's just really funny to me that General Skywalker is just he plays second fiddle to Darth Revan. Like people message me all the time. Like at the start, I'm fully expecting a ton of stories people are going to send me on Discord. They're going to be like, dude, I got the worst RNG. I took General Skywalker against Darth Revan, and I lost.
Yeah.
Happens every 3v3.
Yes, every round of every 3v3, somebody will be complaining about it.
Yeah.
Every
3v3, I'm going to lose a friend of some sort, so I'm just going to laugh about it when I console them.
I just plan for that. I just plan on keeping Hoda and Jedi Knight Luke with an auto taunter. Probably L3, 'cause she won't be going with Rey, and, just let Luke... I'll lose the other two and just let Luke do his ungodly things.
So, is that a thing then?
Oh, yeah.
You can definitely 3v3 with Jedi Knight Luke?
I've done it a few times. It's not good banners. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not good banners, but basically, Darth Revan hits whoever the auto taunter is. I think I used Baze last 3v3 round. Jedi Knight Luke is immune to fear, so the team doesn't get feared. You put Master's Training on Luke, and he just counters and counters and counters, and eventually Malak disappears. And then once Malak is gone, I mean, the rest of the team just disappears as well.
I'm not convinced that is super consistent. Like I've done it. I've practiced it a lot in Arena, and it can work. But if they get fast enough or high enough relics, that it gets real dicey. In fact, I think I lost the match because of that particular counter going sideways.
You did, but so the one thing you didn't do, because I still remember that match because I was cursing at you through the screen. You didn't use the stun. Yes. No, but you didn't use the stun, and I was so pissed because the stun isn't a stun against Darth Revan, obviously. But what it does is it reduces their max health and protection by 10%. So you get it out twice, and you've reduced their max health and protection by 20%, and that's when Luke just starts one-shotting people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a guaranteed counter, but...
Yeah.
I like the guaranteed crit from it. No, I've practiced it past that, because I agree. Like that time I did just lose. That was a fail on my end. I will say I think that beyond that, though, it still can have a pretty good chance of going sideways. I mean, we have a good opportunity to find out, I guess.
So here's actually one of the questions that I've been spinning over in my mind. If you go up against somebody with Jedi Master Luke, which we're all going to, every previous 3v3 I've never put Darth Revan on defense.
Yeah.
If I'm facing Jedi Master Luke, I feel like I have to keep him for offense because, like Endall said, that 3-man of Watt, Darth Revan, and Bastila can just take out a Jedi Master Luke without even trying, basically. And now my best defensive team has to come to offense with me. So how are you guys thinking about approaching that?
Well, is that dependent on the leader, or are you, like, if it's a Basti lead with Jedi Master Luke, does it still work? Or if it's a Jedi Knight Luke or a Jedi Knight Revan, like, are we sure that works?
Yeah, that works with Jedi Master Luke lead, but I'm not sure about Basti.
Right.
I don't think it would.
These are questions people need to know, like me.
Yeah, like me.
Guys, and keep in mind that people are watching this stream to find out those answers, so we need to pretend like we know.
Well, so I honestly think you, with a Bastila lead, I think you either need your own Galactic Legend or I wonder if Jedi Knight Revan Gas +1 could take it out.
Yeah, I mean, Gas is definitely going to be the secret sauce on offense. I mean, he
Right.
hits so hard. One of the hardest hitting characters out there, and reduces max health, which is really beneficial against these GLs. So I think whatever counter we come up against GLs, Gas is going to be an important part of it.
Yeah.
On as well.
Yeah.
So if you guys are paying attention to chat right now, Blade Baca is saying that he was just testing the Darth Revan versus Jedi Master Luke, and it's not pretty.
Yeah.
So you might want to be careful.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it would be, honestly.
He was saying he was winning with Thrawn, Gas, and Traya with the Basti lead. Jedi Master Luke team with Watt. That's good to know.
That is good to know. When in doubt, trust Blade Baca. He should be on here with us, not
right. Screw all of us.
Oh.
Yeah, let's just do. Let's let him write an essay, and we'll just take notes.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, right.
People can watch a stream of us receiving instruction.
Oh, Deranged did show up. Look at that. He didn't boycott Klesso.
He was gonna boycott me? What the hell?
Yeah.
Bros, bro.
Yeah, no, that Bastila team, that's probably the only one that scares me for this upcoming 3v3. Like, the Rayhan and Chewie, I feel like one person made a video saying that's unstoppable, and then, like, the very next day, it was figured out by somebody else. In fact...
It was always just Supreme Leader Kylo. You just start Chewie first.
Right, yeah.
Like...
That's but the problem is that one video got like 10,000 views, and so now everybody sets Rayhan and Chewie, and it's like,
please do, because now you don't have CLS.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the answer is just to keep everything for offense.
Basically.
But at least in the first week, I think I might just do that, keep both my GLs on offense, just to see how things shape out, how other people are faring against GLs. And then the second week, I might just decide to, throw down either Ray or JML, one of them on defense. Both of them are really solid characters on defense, I would say.
Yeah. I plan on still putting Ray on defense. Like, since, three of us have... Three from Ando, do you have a third GL?
Yeah, I've got 3.
Yeah.
Dude, he beat us to.
He did.
Master Luke.
He did.
Master Luke.
But I plan on just putting Ray on defense still, because at the end of the day, even if I can get you to use your Kylo, that's fine. I get you to use your Kylo against my Ray. But the other two, 100% keeping on offense, because I honestly don't know what people are going to set.
Yeah, it's hard in threes because no one really, like, we don't think this way. We don't think in terms of like, oh, well, like, let me just go ahead and do this team to make sure I bring out this counter and stuff like that. Because there's so many teams now, like, on top of like the teams that we normally set. It's gonna be one of those things where I think I feel it out the first week and change it up probably often, and then hopefully my opponents check and they're like, I have no idea what this guy's doing,
right?
Because I don't even know what I'm doing, and hopefully I can, like, the second week just kind of cruise on that as well.
Yeah, the hope is that they look at our GAC history and say they actually get worse at 3v3. Look at it.
Yeah. Oh God.
Is it 11 teams?
It is
on defense.
Yeah.
4-3-4.
Yeah.
11 teams, 2 ships. So it's going to be, I think,
it 20... is 2 ships again.
It is.
Yeah. 1 ship zone, 2 ships in that zone. So it's going to be like 2,700 banners for
you know how all you guys hate 3v3 and 2 ships? Let's put that shit together. Let's go.
Let's hook that shit up. Yeah. No, you're right. It's a funny thing. I swear, like, so I've had so many people confidently tell me that we're only going to have one ship in the in the coming season, and they're like, well, at least fleets only have 1 fleet or whatever. And I'm like, like CG's like trolling us. They were before they never even said how many fleets we would have, and now they started saying you'll have one zone of ships, just like every single other Grand Arena match or season.
Right.
And but what they like when they started doing that, they also simultaneously started putting two ship squads, two fleets in the zone. So yeah, it's been a joy to have those interactions with people, because they're like, oh well, at least ships aren't going to be so bad. I'm like, well, you'll like me less for this, but I'll tell you anyways.
So, question from the chat on what gives more points, ships or the back zone for characters. So I did the math on that, and it looks like keeping your tougher teams down south nets you about 100 more points. So clearing the south zone gives you about approximately 96 to 100 points more than clearing the north zone. So that's still going to be that strategy of blocking the south zone is still going to hold true this time. If the zones are the same layout with just the addition of two ships.
Yeah.
Horseshoe's in chat saying he hopes that there's extra teams added on defense when 3v3 starts as a surprise. And I'm just sitting here like, do you really... Like, I can't afford any extra teams. Like, it's going to take me about 40 to get through their 11. So,
it's because Horseshoe has never gone up against GOM. Good Lord. Bastard.
It's gonna, I don't know. It's like, I swear, I'm like a, I don't know, like a, this is kind of awkward. Like I'm like a woman who hasn't, who forgets how bad childbirth is, because I'm kind of looking forward to 3v3 right now. And it's like, I know it's going to be painful, but, like, the only way I'm going to consent to play 3v3 is if I forget how painful it was in the past.
That's a brilliant analogy.
Yeah.
Because so after my first, we had a girl, and my wife was talking about having like 4 kids. I'm like, oh my God, I'm good with one. And then I was like, I'll do one more. And then once the second, like literally as soon as the second was born, she's like, nope, I'm done. She remembered real fast after that second.
Yeah, she's like, I immediately regret my decision.
Right. That dude was almost 10 pounds.
Oh, good Lord.
yeah.
Yeah, like, how dare you?
Right. And he didn't sleep for the entire first year of his life.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I'm like excited for 3v3 until I see that my opponent sets down 3 GLs in the front zone, and I'm like, yeah, okay, like this is just dumb. Like, I don't know why I thought this was okay.
Yeah. So here's the problem. I love the idea of coming up with different teams for 3v3. And then I hate the teams I come up with. That's because I remember, what was it, in the December 3v3, the team was what? L3, Stormtrooper Han, and Vander Chewie. And if you didn't have JTR for the back zone where that was hiding, you're just like, God damn it, am I really going to time out against 2 tanks and Vander Chewie? Like, but you did.
I feel like maybe Mando could handle that now.
Well, now we can. Yeah.
It solves a lot of problems in 3v3, honestly. A lot of the...
Yeah. Timeout teams. Yeah. Low damage timeout teams. Just get in Aura, Mando, and Bosk. That's what I was using all of the last season, and it worked pretty well, even with low gear.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, for now, I mean, lower divisions, it's going to be completely different. And we have to remember, a lot of people watch us in Division 2 and Division 3. But for us, I mean, it really is going to just be like Galactic Legend, Galactic Legend, Galactic Legend.
Yeah.
Here's what you were farming for the Galactic Legend. Here's what you're farming for the Galactic Legend. Because I set up my teams, and I was halfway through my roster, and it's like, oh, I already have 27 teams set up here. Huh, I can pare that down a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy because, like, in 5v5, like, it's totally, like, you can totally counter, GLs with the off-meta counters. But, like, if you, for instance, set like maybe just one GL and they set their 3, you could be in a very like serious predicament where like you can't clear one of the, either the top or the bottom, depending on how they set it all up. And if you only set one, like they have a very legitimate shot at like, beating down that zone enough to where they can clear both zones. Because then I'm assuming, if you only set your 1, that you probably are not setting like super hard defenses everywhere else. So it's a very like showmanship thing. It's like, do you go all out and does everyone just go all out on defense? And like you just put all your stuff up front and just hope that they just can't clear it? Or, are you taking it all on offense because you're afraid of them doing that? And you're kind of setting up those banner eating teams. It's very weird. It's a very weird game mode.
Especially just the very first week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what is going on, and then your mind starts wrapping itself around itself, and you start figuring out, you start remembering what you did a few months ago, and then counters start coming out. You try stuff, it doesn't work,
Yeah.
So I think as the season progresses, it gets better. As it gets harder, if that makes any sense, because you're facing harder opponents usually towards the end. But
at
least you have somewhat of an idea of what the heck you're doing.
Yeah. And you have the history of at least 1 week. Like, that's the worst part. Our history is going to be, back when they only had 1 Galactic Legend, here's what they did. Now they have 3.
I'm not even necessarily super worried about Galactic Legends. Like, what the heck do you do with Mon Mothma? You know what I mean? Like, now I need another Treya team, or you know what I mean? Like, if they, I don't know. But I do I keep that for offense? Is it going to be better for defense? What's the best Mon Mothma team? There's all kinds of questions. We have Chupio now. Like, there's a bunch of questions that we don't have answered, and we won't know for a week or two.
Yeah, I do fully expect. So one of the teams I was excited about trying, and I have it set up in my phone, on my squads tab, but I haven't actually tried it yet, is CLS, Kara, Dune, and Mon Mothma as the third. And Kara and Mon Mothma are just going to spit out revives, like, left and right. Kara is going to counterattack on her basic, giving her the taunt. I mean, it's basically a timeout team. As long as you don't have, like, a Nihilus or, a Django with a Zeta or something.
What you mean for keeping for defense?
Yeah, putting that on defense, and then for offense, I'll use Stormtrooper Han and Chewie, because Han and Chewie just do, what they do, and you're giving Stormtrooper Han the guard, and
yeah, I like that idea of splitting out Han and Chewie from CLS. In 3v3, it makes a ton of sense. You Han and Chewie can go, if you want to keep on defense with Rey, you can do that. Or if you want to use on offense, you can use under Kira. Kira is an excellent lead for Han and Chewie as well. Tons of offense boost, protection recovery, all of that stuff. And CLS, you've got so many options now to use CLS. You can use CLS, Chupio, and C-3PO, which is an excellent powerhouse on offense. You can use with Cara Dune, like you said, Mon Mothma. Tons of options if you split up CLS from Han and Chewie. I think in 3v3 it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never do it in 5v5. Like, that team is just set in 5v5, but in 3v3, I don't know why you keep Han and Chewie with CLS at this point.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't know is if off-leader plus Han and Chewie still beat that Resistance Hero Finn, or Finn... Resistance Hero Finn, Resistance Hero Poe team. Because CLS was like my automatic counter to that. Everybody sets it, and including me.
Yeah, that was a nasty team.
It is.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to set that.
I am.
That's the right. I've already got that set up in my squads. I've been, because I'll just put a couple of tanks with Rey. You can use your Supreme Lord Kylo. Have fun. Now you got to deal with this other resistance team. You can either stun Hero Finn first or not. But you're right. Do you need CLS lead for that? I don't think you do.
I think
Kira will work fine, I think.
I
She
think
gives...
Kira would work
give
too.
give her a little bit of speed, and you're golden. I
The
think.
the thing is, in 3v3, I keep Nest for offense, so I like keeping that Kira Nest. Sacrifice the Kira, but Nest just goes buck wild type of situation.
I'll tell you what. One thing that people should look out for, though. So, like 5v5, Nest does fine in soloing Padme as long as you have the right setup. Like you have to have the right setup, but as long as you get that baseline, like she'll eventually get there. In 3v3, that doesn't happen because they don't generate as many buffs total, and so Nest doesn't power up enough, and you just get to the point where she started to do a couple big hits and you time out, and then you want to swear viciously, but you're live. And some people still do. But,
So
yeah,
what are we using for Padme? Trio?
I don't remember what I used last time.
Right, I don't either.
Good question.
DLS Chupio? No.
Maybe,
Hold on. Let me
JKR maybe
let me pull up our fancy counter sheet that we kept, and I will tell you what we used last time. Because I think 3v3 was the last time I actually added to it.
I think Treya works fine against Padme.
I'm pretty sure I just Treya'd it.
And if you have, if you have Thrawn, there, and Thrawn is faster than all the characters, then that's like a 52, 53 banner.
Yeah, but the thing is, Thrawn is so valuable against GLs these days. You've got these characters, Thrawn, Watt, Vader. You have to save them for really exclusive teams. And if you can get one of your teams to waste one of these premium characters, then that's a win, I guess.
Yeah, and actually, I see Bad Karma in chat, and I just looked at our counter sheet, and it was Darth Revan, then Trey Nihilus Thrawn, and it's a Bad Karma video that we put on the counter sheet. So that did absolutely work. But I agree with Thrawn. Like, he's so valuable now. Thrawn and Watt, I mean, you can't get enough of them.
Yeah.
So maybe the key then. So that's like the common knowledge. Like, if you want to counter Galactic Legends, you need Thrawn. But if you want to counter Padme, you use Thrawn. So maybe what you do is you throw Padme in that bottom zone, and then you put your Galactic Legend in back.
Yeah.
Try to bait them out. Yeah.
Yeah, because Thrawn is perfect for even a cleanup of a GL. Thrawn is just right up there in terms of giving you the control to clean up a GL. And if you're able to make your opponent waste that Thrawn, that's and you have the GL hiding at the back, that's like the perfect strategy.
Right. It's like in 5v5, Geos were my perfect Galactic Legend cleanup squad. Like lone Galactic Legend, let me bring out my Geos. In 3v3, it does not work as well. I mean, my spy is R5, but it's still not as strong as when you had the whole team hitting them.
I feel like for Padme, isn't one of the methods is sending in a burner, letting her waste that kick, and then sending in just a basic, trio, Treya, Scion, and Nihilus?
Yeah. So if you want to throw a burner in there, it's a pretty. I mean, that costs you banners, obviously, but that's a pretty high % chance that you win. Like,
right.
But to be fair, I feel like a lot of 3v3 is just like, let me just go ahead and throw a burner in.
That's true.
A lot of times for me, I'm like, wow, they outspeed me so bad. Let me just go ahead and throw a burner in.
Oh yeah.
I almost always set my Darth Revan. That's just my strategy. I'm going to throw in a burner and then use CLS on it. The end.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why certain characters, it's so important. Like the only remodding that I've done for this 3v3 is move my fastest sets to Darth Revan, Basti, and to Shak T. Just because I want to set the Darth Revan team on defense and Jedi Master Luke with a really, really fast Shak T on defense.
Jedi Master Luke or Jedi Knight?
Sorry, Jedi Knight Luke. Jedi Knight Luke, not Master. Yeah, so these two teams, non-GL teams, but they take a really, really heavy counter to counter them. And if you're able to at least get a couple of key characters fast enough, I think that makes all the difference in 3v3.
Yeah.
No, you're right about that. I mean, 3v3 is so weird because you lose a battle and like it's not, you don't just like sit there and stare blankly at the screen. You know? You're just like, oh, all right, well that's par for the course. Let's move forward. You know,
Yeah.
my opponent will do the same. You know,
Yeah.
you can speak confidently of that until you lose because they don't. But
I feel like everybody loses at least once in 3v3. It's just
Oh yeah.
it just happens because there's 11 teams on the board, and it's 11 teams you don't face every week. Oh, and actually, Blade Baka brings up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Holy crap!
Malik isn't doing Malik things anymore.
Malik is having mental health issues.
He's
Dude, I almost wonder then. I mean, like, I know obviously Malik is like the huge, you know, he's kind of like the linchpin in that 3v3 team, but it's like a Dreven, Bastila, and maybe like a lot of people will get in those R7 Sith Marauders. Like, I wonder if that's like going to be just as scary and just as efficient as like ripping a banners away. And then you just like solo a freaking team, one of those timeout teams, like a Rex League, because everyone likes to place those with Malik.
Yep. That's actually
that might be like a gameism type thing, like where you just like, okay, well, I'll let them take their, I don't even remember how scoring goes. Like, I'll let them take their 50 banners or whatever it is on this team, but I'll score my 54 or whatever the heck it is. I can't even remember the scoring. But.
Actually, speaking of Rex, that reminds me of the old Klesso counter to General Grievous that I completely forgot about until you just said that, where my Grievous counter is going to be the 3 clones and take the bad banners.
Dude, so
and that's not mine.
I should
You told me about it, though.
You be clear about that in this chat or in this.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair
because he's listening. Yeah,
well,
we stole that from Blade Baka and
right.
Well, Klesso told me about it. This was back in December of 19.
He beat the hell out of Indigo, I think, with it.
Right.
We all just like stared
and
at that screen.
We're all like, I know what I'm doing.
Yep. Nice. Like, thank you, Indigo, for facilitating that. Yeah, that's fantastic. I didn't really. I stopped doing that, but
one thing I did notice the last season of 3v3 is people were still using Night Sisters a lot on Grievous.
Yeah,
they were.
I haven't been brave enough to try that in 3v3. So
I did do that. To the last half of the last season, I tried Talzin, Spirit, and Daka. No zombie. Talzin, Spirit, and Daka on Grievous. I got the idea from good old Maurice, and I was surprisingly successful. I mean, all the 5 or 6 times that I used it, it had 100% success rate against Grievous. You just need a really tanky Daka, 120k health or something like that, and I was pretty surprised with the results. So that's probably something I'll continue doing because it's a really cheap counter against.
He used that on me. Yeah.
Who was it?
It was a Talzin lead, Daka, and Spirit.
Well, do you remember Zareth, our stream with Gom, when he was on the stream and he's like, "This always works," and then it was literally the one time in 3v3 that it didn't work. I was like,
because it was GG Watt.
It was GG Watt. Yeah.
He still almost won that though.
He did.
He needed one more minute to chew through that crazy health protection thing that Watt had put on Grievous.
Right.
But yeah, that was. Yeah. I was impressed, and then I still couldn't work up my.
And then I didn't do it.
I did try it. I think toward the end of 3v3 though. I was like, you know what, my season's already just effed up beyond recognition. Like, I may as well try some of these weird things, and it worked. Like, I think I got lucky, but that's how I always feel after Night Sisters beat Grievous. So
there's a reason our guild knows not to use Night Sisters against Grievous, because I hate that counter with such a passion.
Yeah, it is definitely an interesting one.
I'm actually leaning towards keeping Grievous on offense now.
I've always kept Grievous on offense in 3v3 because B1 restores health and protection, so you can get 52, 53 banners with him on offense.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's just such a defensive team too, you know, because it's just like they have to kill the other guys, you know. So it's like even if they one shot it, you know, you're still getting what is it, like the 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember the scoring, but like
Yeah, yeah, and Grievous is a pain to clean up even if he's like solo. So I get the the need to the appeal to keep him on defense, but the reason that people usually don't keep him on offense is because he steals banners a lot. But banners really don't efficiency really doesn't matter as much
that's
in
true.
3v3s as in
Yeah.
5v5. So and he can take out so much, especially if you're also keeping Watt on offense and you're not using Watt. Take in Watt, Grievous, and B1, and you'll take out pretty much any team out there.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah.
yeah.
I love Grievous, just Grievous B1, B2 against all those Newt teams that people place. Because I feel like Newt in 3v3 actually causes people trouble. Because the extortion just spreads so quickly because it only needs to spread to 3 people. And so I just use Grievous and I'll get 53 banners, 54 banners against those Newt teams because one AoE and Dooku and Newt are dead. And then you just need to do one more to kill Newt a second time. And it's like, all right, there we are.
That's not going to be the case against our opponents, though. People are going to have Relic 6 Dookus now.
Now it's probably different. I still think that Grievous works against those new teams, though.
You know what I found last season, like as an absolutely like it was just an absolutely tremendous like 3v3 team that like most people wouldn't have really thought of is Hux and the pilots, like those first order pilots. Like, because Hux is typically got some of your faster mods, you just blow Dooku out of the water. Like, and even if you just somehow did, like, if you dodged or something like that, like, even if you didn't kill him, he's not countering you. Any of those teams that, like, counters, a lot of, like, my 3v3, like, when I was, like, featured on the Kyber show, was, like, a lot of those teams, like Wampa or, like, Yeah. But yeah, like a lot of those teams that like rely on counters that are just super annoying, that team does well. And then like people would always be like, well, then what do you use for Rey? And well, I found that like between first order officer, if you have them fast enough, your SLKR first order officer, and I forget who my third one was, but it was like that was good enough. Like you're still gonna get your 47 and like against a Rey. Without Hux too, so it was very interesting that team kind of popped up and was like kind of like a low key MVP for me.
Well, everybody forgets the Hux lead because nobody uses the Hux lead, but they hit so hard under a Hux lead.
You blow them, you just blow people up. It's insane,
dude. I was I know that there was, I don't. Mostly 3v3 is kind of just a blur of pain in my mind, which kind of blows my mind that I'm actually a little excited for it because I really only remember pain. But I do remember one of the fights that I marched in against Hux, and there wasn't even a very impressive Hux team, and I don't remember what team it was, but it went sideways. Like it started sideways.
Yeah.
It didn't end well. I mean, my opponent was probably like laughing a lot like a few days later in the GAC history when he saw it. But yeah, like that team can gun you off the board quick. The issue being, you really want Hux to go with Kylo, Supreme Kylo. So.
Yeah, you would prefer it for sure. But I found, like I said, last 3v3, I was beating. I don't think I ever lost to Rey actually, and I was using. I do think though, if I remember right, the third might have been Thrawn. So that is a pretty expensive. I think it was First Order Officer and Thrawn. I think that was like my two characters that I put in with it. But it's like you're still gonna get your 47 or whatever the heck you get. I seriously can't remember the scoring, but.
Yeah. I do know a lot of people for their Supreme Leader Kylo were using the Supreme Leader Kylo Watt Thrawn team. Like just ignoring First Order, and it was just Watt and Thrawn. And then you give, whatever, I don't even remember what tech, because I didn't have Kylo at the time, what tech you give to Kylo, and then it just kind of evaporated most Rey teams.
Yeah.
That's a big win in my book. If you're able to take a GL and Watt and Thrawn away in one counter in one team,
right?
That's a very expensive team to waste.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it if my opponent used that on one of my teams.
Yeah, that's I was talking about this last last week on, or in the last 5v5 week on stream, where somebody was like, "Oh, I put Jedi Master Luke on defense." And I'm like, well, he's so easy to beat with Darth Revan. I was like, I'm okay with that because I put Jedi Master Luke lead. I was like, go ahead, use your Darth Revan because I have my Darth Revan hiding in the back, and you're not going to have Darth Revan for my Darth Revan. Like, go ahead. Sometimes it's not about getting the hold with that team. A lot of people miss that it's about stealing a team up front to then get the hold in the back.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, and that's why, it's a similar principle in 5v5 even. I mean, so yeah, changed fleet, and we've talked about this a lot, so I won't go on at length, but like, the strategy is still there to trap. Like, the only way you can trap is through the bottom zone, and that making your opponent have that lack of information and that uncertainty is a big deal. So even if the points favored ships and taking ships over, like, you still want to put a lot of good teams in the back, I feel
right.
Like.
Oh yeah, I even in 5v5 where the points say if you block the top you win, it just makes so much more sense because at the GP we're at, you trap them in the back, and I had 4 or 5 people in the last 2 weeks not clear that bottom back zone, and so I got the easy win because they didn't full clear me and I got the full clear. Like, it doesn't matter at our GP. We have so much to play with. You should be able to clear the top zone. You should be able to clear 3 or 4 teams up top. Like, we're at 6+ million GP. Everyone on the stream, like, you're gonna get through the top. So for us, it's very easy, trap them in the back. Now, I will say, I watch a lot of the Division 2 and Division 3 streamers. They're playing a completely different game because if you put a hard enough top defense, it doesn't matter trapping people in the back. If you're in Division 2 or 3, you can stop them in that front top zone. So it's the same game, but completely different strategies depending what division you're in.
So, what do we? I don't remember. I remember it being an issue. So, Forzu's asking in the chat, what do you guys like to do against Supreme Leader Kylo Daka Zombie?
I did. I remember I did SLKR like with that's the only times that I would bring out Hux on that team because I was like, yeah, we're not messing around with this team, dude. And it still was so sketch. Like I did it, and like some jerk like soiled my pants because of how scary it was. Like I was, like it was, like I remember going into it confident. I was like, well, we're gonna stop the bonus turn meter. Like they're not gonna get the the support stuff because of the Hux. And I was like, we'll get our ultimate first, and it's just gonna be the race who gets the ultimate first. And like, if you rewatch that video, like I'm all smiles, and then like quickly I'm just like, is this?
You're like that meme where he's like happy.
Yeah,
he's like happy. He's like, oh, here, I'm gonna beat this guy. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm like thinking about like how I'm about to explain to everyone that like I just lost this match and that I can't clear the bottom zone. I'm like, oh crap.
Actually, Gas Chewy 5s works as well against that team because Gas prevents the revives. So I know.
That's what...
Yeah.
I was actually just gonna say, I feel like a version of the 5's cheese actually still works. So yeah,
it does. Yeah. And Play Baka said Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke, and Hoda still wins too. So
that was my normal counter against basic Supreme Leader Kylos, but not many, almost nobody set Supreme Leader Kylo because that was everybody's crutch for Rey.
Need to beat Rey, yeah.
So I only had one person, I think, last season set Supreme Leader Kylo at all, and I didn't clear because I couldn't get past it, but then I still beat the heck out of them because they couldn't do anything against me, you know what I mean?
On our counter sheet, we have a total of 4 Supreme Leader Kylo ultimates on the counter sheet. None of them are from me, and it's not because I didn't update it. I just never faced one. It was it was only Zareth faced it, of course, because he loved 3v3 at the time.
Yeah, I didn't have my second Galactic Legend that whole season.
Yeah.
But then we have a guest post from one of our guildmates in there, and that's actually the Gash 285. So we just didn't run into it that often.
Yeah, that was rough, dude.
Yeah, I only had one GL last time, so I did run into a lot of people setting their SLK. I think that was like last 3v3. I feel like was the last, like was the first, or I guess the first time that people were like, "Hey, SLKR on defense is just super OP, like because he's going to win, or they're going to have to use their own SLKR."
Yeah,
and I was still of the mindset where I was like, "Well, SLKR is my favorite character, like my favorite thing to play with, so like I'm gonna go on offense," but like. I always had to fight their SLKR with my SLKR.
Yeah. I do think Jedi Knight Luke or Jedi Master Luke, God, they're so close together. Jedi Master Luke with gas would destroy that team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jedi Master Luke is a hard counter to SLKR.
Right.
I mean, he can go around taunt, so zombie is not going to be a problem, and he just does so much damage. The true damage that he does on the special ability.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing. In fact, I sent a video in the Gambit Discord server of Jedi Master Luke. 3-manning a full five member first order team.
That was so funny.
I enjoyed that because Endall was like, I'm testing 3v3, and then he sends this video of 3 versus 5, and I was like, well, that's Endall making it harder on himself, and he's gonna win.
He's like, I made it a theme.
Yeah, but I was actually talking to Zareth about this earlier today because I've been using my Luke lead in Arena now. Now that I have his ultimate, and when I hit the Luke ultimate, my gas is critting for like 150k. So if I go up against like Supreme Leader Kylo Daka Zombie, like 150k is going to take out almost every Daka. Maybe not an R7 that's modded extremely well, but one AoE and gas is just going to say goodbye, Night Sisters. Like, good day.
Oh, dude, so that's right. Toward the end of last season, people were saying General Grievous, L3, and Nest is a crazy squad, and I remember like scoffing about it, and then people kept sending me screenshots due to my said scoffing. People kept sending me screenshots of that team getting holds against really good teams. Like what did I take? I think I was saying like you just take Treya and just crush it, like just the trio,
right?
But like they sent me a ton of screenshots to the point where I'm questioning whether that's actually true that Treya beats that squad consistently.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it sounds horrible.
Yeah,
especially with the Zeta. Well, I don't know if it matters. Well, yeah. Grievous is considered a droid.
Yeah, he's going to be equalized. And Night Sisters won't work against it as well because L3 is going to heal.
Right. I remember in 3v3 is what made me want to give L3 the Zeta.
I did it, but it didn't get any stops.
Right. Yeah. That's fair.
This was like, it made me want to do it too, so I did.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it didn't work.
classic.
Yeah. Luckily, I had just unlocked Supreme Leader Kylo for the second 3v3 that we faced, and so I had 0 Zetas left. Like, it was like, oh, I'm running on fumes at this point, and so I didn't actually do it. But, yeah, I wanted to so badly, and then I didn't.
Next time, just pull the trigger.
Well, here's the problem. So I'm now sitting at 140 Zeta mats, which means I have everything I need for Palp when I unlock him, which probably won't be like for another month and a half. But
yeah.
So I'm going to sit there and be like, well, I could give this Zeta now. Like, I could do this.
You're in a good position for these new Mandalorian characters coming out because they each only have one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can give both theirs and still have 6 by the time you get around to Sith Eternal Emperor.
I can't tell you the stress I'm having, like, in my own mind of do I get these guys up to Gear 11 immediately and just have them ready? Because they said accelerated release schedule. I was like, do I get them to Gear 11 now and have them ready?
They?
Yeah, they did.
They're releasing them with Galactic challenges, but we don't know. I'm assuming that's going to be 3 or 4 star. They'll probably be, I'm assuming 3-star, buy a pack for 4-star, just like Marquee. And then maybe they hit farm faster. I don't know.
Well, that's what they said. It was like you're going to get 40 to 60 shards from the Galactic challenges. So that's basically 4-star. And then, but they all but confirmed that there's a legendary happening at the end of the Mandalorian season.
Yes.
Yeah. So
at the end of the season?
Or, well, they said accelerated schedule. So
that's
That
6
sounds about
weeks.
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 weeks. That does, because the non-accelerated is like 8 weeks.
right.
So
Yeah.
and we just finished episode 1, which means there's 7 weeks left
Right.
until
I've
end of
gone
the season.
way too far. Like, I'm pretty darn close to Sith Eternal Emperor. So I don't think I can. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I was almost further away
Right.
where
dude.
I could go after these Mando characters, because my other 3 are already Gear 13.
Right.
So, I'm like in a weird place where I'm like, but I'm also just Krennic away from starting.
Oh yeah, no, you have to go. You have to go,
I mean,
pal.
you have to go because you'll actually have Sith Eternal Emperor for 3v3 then, and
I could.
Yeah.
You'll have Sith Eternal Emperor before IG-11's even released because he's the second half of November.
Oh, okay. But see, I don't have the Zetas. I've only got 3 Zetas right now.
So just throw defense and make it your opponent's problem.
Yeah.
You're like, should I take Night Sisters? You're like, yes, you should. No, dude. So here's my problem. I love hate Clash so much, especially
man.
3v3.
Sounds about right.
Like he puts these like eccentric teams in my head, and I'm like. I watched a video he made recently where it was Mothma with Cassian and K2.
Oh, you sent me that one, and you got that stuck in my head, bastard.
And he's killing like it was like a weaker Commander Luke team, but it was like a demolition of like the CLS trio. And then there was multiple instances of him destroying General Grievous, both like on defense, like he put the Mothma team on defense and had the Grievous team attack it, and then had then the Mothma team attacked Grievous, and like it wasn't close. It was like 54 banners every time against General Grievous, and I'm like, okay, so I should be working on Sith Eternal Emperor.
Yeah.
Right.
But what about K2SO?
Yeah. Zareth sent me that video. Was it this morning? I was just like, screw you, Zareth. Like, don't do this to me. Because I want it now. Like, it's like I want that now.
I needed someone to feel my pain, because it's like this existential just like destruction right now. I think I'm gonna wake up and K2SO's like I'm gonna have to blame the captain and Coke. I'll be like, I have a Gear 13 K2, so
So Zareth,
Zeta with that 2% protection recovery on Zeta.
So Zareth, what happened? I went on the Gambit stream. I got a little drunk with Captain Coke, and look, I have an R7 K2SO now.
Yeah,
and I'm wearing my wife's underwear. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like someone had a good time last night.
Yeah, right.
Might have been me.
Clash does have that effect on like his videos. Like I'm just because I'm always like, man, Scoundrels just feel so like they're like a super like team that's like I'm like, oh, that's really cool, but it's like so far away from what I'm like trying to achieve. And then like I said, I watched like you were saying actually, like I watched one of his videos and I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, like an R7 Vet Han, like that's not a problem for me. Like we can totally do that. Like we'll just totally destroy Drevin.
Well,
I geared up all my young Han, my young Lando, my Kira, gave them all their Zetas just because of Clash's videos. That guy is responsible for at least like 20k, 30k of GP bloat in my roster.
I feel like you did use the heck out of them though.
I
be
did
fair.
for a couple of months. These days,
Yeah.
I haven't used them in forever.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Like-
over now. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Meme is
Blade Baka's got a good point. We do usually get a free Zeta
do.
for the anniversary, so I forgot about that, and that's coming up.
Yeah, well,
But, I mean, during Star Wars week, we normally get a free Zeta too, and they only gave us like 8 mats or something. They shorted us.
yeah, but this is the 5-year anniversary. They started hyping the 5-year anniversary back in August, so
Yeah.
something's going to happen this month.
Hopefully,
Yeah, you're right. They have been mentioning it. When they mention something, like they're gonna. Yeah, I think you're right. We're gonna get something.
I mean, it might not be a Zeta. It might. I fully expect something big to happen at the end of the month because in today's State of the Galaxy that they posted, they said, "Hey, there's going to be a road ahead next month." And considering we haven't had a road ahead since like May, the fact that we had a State of the Galaxy, then a week later or 2 weeks later we're gonna have a road ahead. Something is coming for that 5-year anniversary.
You know what I hope they do? I hope they release one Galactic Legend that's going to be available, limited time for like 7, like for it'll just be like a 5-day time frame. So people on vacation
Don't do that to me.
vacation don't eat, and
like
whoever
Malik.
Yeah.
whoever
That's
logs
Malik.
in, whoever logs in gets a 7-star Galactic Legend, full powered, awesome. And everyone else who is like on vacation or just like quit for a little bit or whatever, or just started a little bit later than everyone else, like no one else gets it except for the people who log in for that time. And then we'll just have this huge controversy. Or they'll make it so that they release 2 Galactic Legends and you'll get one if you're Droid and the other one if you are Apple. You have a choice. You just get one of them.
That's how K2SO was released, if I remember.
Yeah, KTS.
I know.
I-
Well, it is. I
I had to
remember,
start
like,
a Discord account so I could, or not Discord, BlueStacks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had to have them.
and that was right before I started the game. So I just remember people so mad about it, and I was like, I thought that he sucked. But,
Right.
and yet here I am. I'm talking about maybe putting him Gear 13 before I get Sith Eternal Emperor. So more for
Yeah.
me.
You remember, man, we had to go so hard at that Rogue One mission on the territory battles. I don't know if you.
Oh God, yeah.
So I got them all up for that and everything, and that was like, oh man, I can do that. It's like now it's like oh, and I remember going after Lobot when he hit platoons. It was like
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
we need a 7-star Lobot. Everyone in the guild has to get on it.
Yeah, farm him.
I was TB officer at that point, and there was nothing more miserable than opening up the platoons because they're static now, so you know what you're getting.
Oh yeah, it was random,
But
wasn't it?
it was like 1 o'clock. I'm sitting at work. I have awful cell service, and I'm sitting there with like a Google spreadsheet set up. Like, all right, these are the platoons we have. Quick, how do we fill this crap? And like, I'm getting calls at work. I'm like, nope, not answering that one right now.
Yeah, you're like, I don't care about your important legal document.
Right.
Like we don't have enough Lobots.
Dude, yeah, Rogue One was really rough, like early game. I remember people like I never had met anyone, I don't think, but I remember like I think it was on Reddit, people were talking about how they were starting alts just to like chromium farm and see if they got lucky with a churret or bays. And I was like, what?
So
I never had them.
yeah.
I had everyone else. I had Scarab Rebel Pathfinder, and I loved that team actually because
Yeah.
like the synergy did work well.
It did. I started the game in it started in November. I started in March. Then I got to level 59. I took a 6-month break, came back in December, and I wailed. The first thing I wailed on was Baze because I was playing a different game. I was playing Marvel's Contest of Champions. I sold my account for like $800, and I came back to this game. I was like, okay, I have a shit ton of money right now sitting in my PayPal. I can do something. I wailed on Baze. It was the best decision I made when I restarted this game because Baze was just such a destroyer back then. I ran a Vader lead with Baze, and it killed everything.
I'm pretty sure my base is still like gear 11. Like I never developed it. It might be 10 or 9. I don't even know. I never developed it.
Mine's gear 12. Because I ran CLS Chase back in the day.
Yeah.
Someone made fun of me really hard for my gear 8 base that I had farmed him, but he was 7 stars, but he was only gear 8.
Yeah.
And someone made fun of me, and I'm ashamed to say that one person's mockery got into gear 12.
And
Like
now
not even a person I respect. Like just I don't know. So maybe mocking me is the way to get me to gear bad characters. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now that he's bad, he wasn't even bad at the time, but
That's how you end up R7ing Plo Koon.
right.
So.
That's exactly how.
Hold on. Your people paid for that, didn't they?
Yeah. It was like a hype night, and basically a hype train was going, and it was like between the shotguns and the donations, like the amount that came in, I was like, okay, we have to do this. Like
Wow.
we have to do this. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
R7 Plo Koon. Yeah. I bet we can. You could use him in a Galactic Republic starting fleet.
Yeah, exactly. yeah, exactly.
I would. Endo, you need to combine powers with Endall and just like somehow lend him your R7 Plo and just see what he does with it.
Right.
I bet he finds a way to like take out a Galactic Legend. I don't.
Well, there was a Reddit post today.
I would.
You
bet
can
on
put
it.
almost anyone with Jedi Master Luke.
You
Yeah.
can.
They hit like friggin' Hermit Yoda hits for like 40K, 50K.
Yeah.
It's like what is going on right now?
Somebody didn't believe me about that, so I took a video and posted it on the Gambit server. It was just in territory battles of Yoda taking out one of the B1s. Here you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I said this too. Like the Jedi, as far as if you're looking at investments in the game, they're pretty dang good, man. Because they have a broken leader in Jedi Knight Revan.
Yep.
Have a pretty dang broken leader in Jedi Master Luke. You've got pretty high class leaders like Bastila. There's so much variability in there that if you're hey, I got to make sure I'm guarding against debuffs. It's okay, we're gonna run Bastila, or even Revan with his tenacity up starting it. There's just a lot to go there, and then now with Cam, it's gonna feel holy crap! There's 4 legitimate teams. It's almost we're back to the point where it's there's not enough good Jedi for us to, or not enough Jedi for us to put in these good teams.
Well, I broke up my Padme. The second I unlocked Jedi Master Luke, I was like, all right, Padme, you're gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need your Jedi. And it worked.
It's 3 Jedi. Yeah.
It worked. I went 3-0 without running a Padme team the entire week because those 3 Jedi they're fantastic Jedi when you add them to Jedi Knight Luke and Jedi Master Luke, and it's all right, you're better here. Sorry. Go.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Crazy.
Dude, I feel sad for Padme because she is a legitimately good character.
She's fantastic.
It's a fun squad, and she's her kit is just built to just tank. It's not gonna be good after a while because she's immune to turn meter manipulation on her end. She can't she can't keep up with all the newfangled turn meter madness that's happening. And everything she's doing is percent health damage.
Yep.
And that doesn't work against a lot of the new stuff, like Galactic Legends
You're not gonna,
specifically.
no GLs.
Yeah.
But I feel as the game progresses, that's the team that unfortunately, it's going to be like in a year, I'll be like, guys, I'm going to try something crazy. I'm going to try using Padme to clean up this team. And people will be like, wait, who?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I just happen to have a few Galactic Republic. You guys don't remember this, but back in the day, she was a pretty good character with Galactic Republic. And people, some of these neckbeards will be like, I remember that.
It'll be like that'll be some future YouTube titles. Be like, my GR cleared what? My Padme GR cleared what?
Yeah, right. Oh god. But
yeah, I'm just gonna clear you with Galactic Republic. Yeah, with Padme, and people will be like, "Oh snap!"
I feel like that's the life cycle, though. It's like you go to this A tier team, and then it drops down to the B tier. I'm gonna stick it on defense because it's still good enough that you need to counter it with a tough team, but it's not good enough for me to have on offense. Then it falls into the I'm going to bring you back on offense because you can beat niche team A. And that's all I'm going to use you for, but you can beat niche team A, and so I'm going to keep you for offense. Like that's the life cycle of these teams. And Padme has reached I'm going to stick you on defense because it's going to command a good counter type team. It's like on offense, I just don't use it anymore.
Yep.
I mean, there are some teams that Padme is really amazing against. I mean, Night Sisters, obviously. There's, any assist-based team. You've got Geos, you've got Mon Mothma. So you still have a bunch of users that you can overpower with Padme on offense. But, she's so ineffective against GLs. And so it's more and more becoming a tougher case to keep her on offense just because she's so much more valuable on defense these days. Makes the opponent waste a Thrawn or a Trey or something.
Right, exactly. The only reason I like her on offense is because a lot more people are setting and this is 5v5, the JTR with resistance heroes because their Rey team, they're setting anti-Vader with like 4 tanks just here, good luck with Thrawn fracturing my Rey. And so they're setting JTR with the resistance heroes, and Padme just crushes that team because it relies on so many counters.
Yeah.
I want Padme to be part of a counter team to be able to beat a Galactic Legend. I feel like that's the place that she's at right now, except she can't do it.
But yeah, she can't do it, yeah.
It's like Commander Luke keeps getting reinforcements, so he keeps being like one of the best. But like Padme just hasn't had reinforcements since she came out, basically.
Yeah, she needs one more Galactic Republic that's not a Jedi just to kind of reinvigorate her.
Yeah, that would be great. Except we have Cam, who everyone's now all the pressure is to get Cam. Now we have Cam like stealing even more Galactic Republic.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm a year away from that, so I'm not. I think 11 months, based on how my guild did this past territory wars, it's like 11 and a half months. So I will worry about that in 10 months, right before we're about to unlock.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I'm not even close. I'm not even unlocked yet.
I'm not sure Cam is even good. Like, our last territory war, someone set a zone of that and wasn't that bad. Like, I'm not going to say exactly what they set and what we used.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it hasn't been figured out yet. Abattoir is in the chat. I'm sure he has a 7-star, probably relic, whatever now, Cam. I wonder what he's doing.
Yeah, dude. So the thing that makes me nervous is, I watched one of the Operation Metaverse, one of their shows recently, and Gom was like, people in 3v3 with Gom are gonna, or with Gom. Gom is overpowered too, but
nerf.
He needs a nerf, absolutely. CG, get on that. But Cam, he was saying like in 3v3 people are going to learn just how good Cam is. And I mean that makes sense to me. Like if if a character's not great in 5v5, it can be because he doesn't have a good team to go with them.
Yeah.
In 3v3 though, you can have a character that kind of just dominates the entire matchup and changes the entire landscape of it. And so that's what makes me nervous, is like, I'm going to run into a bunch of Wolfpack guys.
That alone is scary enough.
I know. I'll be like, I guess I should use Supreme Leader Kylo here. I don't know. Like, Qui-Gon Jinn is only gear 12.
So I think in 3v3 too, one of the interesting things, like why Cam is going to be so like good, is because of characters like him that have a basically pseudo leadership in their unique. Chupio's the same way, right? Like, it's just like you're facing basically a lead that is giving out so much more stuff than what you can possibly like match. JKR can't match it, right? Like, and a lot of it's not condition based. Like, JKR is condition based, right? However many Jedi or however many Old Republic you use, you get that much more, stats. But with Cam, it's just like, oh yeah, as long as these guys are all Galactic Republic, here's 30 more speed, here's all this other stuff, like 100% offense or whatever, or I forgot like exactly what it is. But same thing with Chupio. It's just like, wow, that's like, if you add that to a CLS leadership, if you add that to a wedge leadership, the stats that he's giving out, like, that's just an impressive leadership at that point. So, it's always interesting because like 3v3 always brings out those guys, I feel like. And I feel like when I read Quill's leadership, or his unique or whatever, or that, I think it's the unique, right, where he shares stat sharing, I was like, dude, we found the next guy that's going to be super freaking good in 3v3. Like, he's going to be so good.
Anyone that has stat sharing is going to be ridiculous in 3v3. Like, that's just the way it works. Yeah.
Yeah, people have been asking me how I think CLS, 3PO, and Chupio are going to be. And I'm like, I think that would be good.
I honestly am not planning on that. Ando said it, like, I don't think Wedge Lead is that good. But I think Wedge Lead with Chupio and 3PO actually will be good. Especially since everybody's going to have him Relic. Like, you laugh, but everybody will have him Relic because they're going for Jedi Master Luke. And he's actually going to be good. Like, I did the math out one day. He's actually going to be good.
Yeah. It was just funny how you said it, I think. Like, you were like, yeah, like, basically Ando sucks, but like...
Oh, I did not mean that. I just meant you mentioned Wedge Lead. Like, that's...
Yeah,
you're like... You're like,
what I heard.
Endo says this exact thing, and I think the exact opposite.
Yeah.
All right, well, apparently I need another Sex and Candy beer.
The other good 3v3 team that I had a lot of success with last time, and I really want to try again this time, is Poggle lead with Django in there. Now, Poggle not only does his lead give Django his payout and the extra 50% offense, but it also gives his unique gives an extra 30% or something like that, and there's another 25%, I think, for all those allies who don't have
that don't have hive mind.
Yeah, they don't have hive mind. So it's like you already start with like 100% offense on Django. And if you have a Relic Django, that's going to catch people by surprise if you have a Poggle lead in there. So Poggle Django, and I'm thinking B1, that might actually be a pretty formidable team in 3v3s.
Yeah.
I've got a big question about, like, there's some really good characters like Vader and Watt and Piet that I have no idea what to do with in 3v3.
I actually want to run Piet, Vader, Sith Empire Trooper as a team.
Oh yeah,
with Piet as the lead.
Yeah, that actually is a pretty solid team.
Yeah,
you can finish off the enemy team before they even move.
Right. Especially if you go up against a light side team because of the minus 15 speed there.
Yeah. Minus 15 speed plus the bonus speed that Vader gets. Yeah,
right.
You can rip through them.
Yeah. So also Vader counters a lot of raid teams actually in 3v3.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah,
I did not
it was
know
like
that.
the end of like all of week 4 last 3v3 season. Like I never had an opportunity to run it, but yeah, I'm looking at my counter sheet. So I could never I never ran it myself, but my buddy Jubal's did. Yeah, so like there's people either take like the Ray with Han and Chewie, which that Vader doesn't work against that, but like one of the more common ones is like Ray with Hoda and Holdo, just to time you out or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what he used, and it's like a pretty solid, like, close to guaranteed. I don't know. I hate using hard counter. It's certainly not a hard counter, but it works.
If you can't push,
it's
not a hard counter.
I have the hard counter sticker, by the way, Zareth, pulled up.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is.
It was a hard counter. Yeah.
I think half of last season I used Vader, Watt, and GBA. That was actually against Ray. I think that got me quite a
GBA.
few wins against Ray.
I can see that. Yeah.
Probably not the Han Chewie version, but almost against all other combinations of Ray, I was able to beat it with Vader, Watt, and GBA.
Interesting. Yeah, to me, I always thought that in threes, Ray was just basically you had to SLKR, like, or else
It was that or spend
Or-
15 teams.
Oh my God, the Suicide Ray is
Right.
the
Yeah.
most depressing thing ever.
Well, what occurred to me is, so I have a lot of my roster pretty developed at this point, and it's like Suicide Ray works, but if you get some bad RNG and like she keeps healing at the wrong time or whatever, like I was starting to get to the point where I'm like, I'm burning like gear 9 characters and she's not one-shotting guys anymore. Like it's starting to get weird.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like I just, after the first season, I was like, I'm done with that. Like,
Yeah.
and then I went 8-4. So like,
So
me saying I'm done with that wasn't actually potentially was a very poor choice, but
Yeah.
I don't think I can go through that again. That
Oh my God, Suicide Ray was. That's why I'm just keeping Supreme Leader Kylo for offense. Like,
Yeah.
100%. If I have to do that Suicide Ray again, I'm just not going to. It's that simple. I'm just not going to. And so, Kylo, you're coming for offense, and
Right. But what if they have C? You know what I mean?
well, then I
Assuming that Jedi Master Luke does work 100, like we know that.
we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray with the best of them because I'm.
Endall says it, so
I need video and all
Yeah.
video or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back though, guys. I need another beer.
One of my favorite interactions last season actually was Endall was in my chat and he told me a team would work, and he agreed to swap wins with me in Grand Arena if I lost with Wampa, and then well I wouldn't have
destroyed
probably held him to it, but yeah, but that then of course worked because it was an
Right.
Endall comp, but
Right.
it was one of my favorites though. We need
Yeah.
more of that.
Yeah, Wampa is one of those characters which is just because he doesn't rely so much on other characters, he's so overpowered in 3v3, especially if you've got him relicked up. So I'm looking forward to soloing a lot of teams with my R7 Wampa, or at least using him more in 3v3 than I would in 5v5.
I could picture a lot of people using like Mon Mothma with Wedge and Biggs. How do you think that would go for a Wampa?
I think because it's not the Terminator train version of
Right,
Mon Mothma,
right,
I think
right.
it would still work pretty well because Wedge and Biggs they have attacking basics and specials, so Wampa is going to counter them. It's only non-attacking specials like Mon Mothma's basic or Pow special, Sakala, that Wampa is not able to counter. But I think any 3v3 version of Mon Mothma, Wampa with some support might be able to do a decent job.
Yeah.
I could see people setting that just because they got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone will have relict rebel fighters, so
Right.
yeah, Wampa is actually perfect for all of that.
So okay, so Endall, I need you to weigh in on something that people debate this all the time with me, and I don't have an answer for it. But people say there's one obvious Zeta for Wampa, but they never say which, unless I force them to. But they always say different ones. Like there's two Zetas, and I feel like it's like been split 50-50. And the one I'm leaning toward, if I did have to do one Zeta, the one I'd lean toward would be the healing immunity, just because people can't heal from it, as crazy as that sounds. But yeah, I wanted to say what my initial thoughts were, but if you want to eviscerate that opinion, I would welcome it. I would love to hear what you think.
Well, my thought is like both Zetas are awesome, but the healing immunity Zeta right now is definitely more valuable. Initially, if you had asked me maybe a year ago, I would have said the dot Zeta, the because it gives extra counter chance, and that's with at least 2 or 3 dots on the board, the Wampa is countering 100% of the time. So maybe a year ago, I would have said that Zeta is best. But these days, there are so many characters who can be cleaned up so easily with healing immunity. You've got crew teams, you've got so many teams which really you need a healing immunity on the team to really get through them, because you don't want time out. I mean, there's so many times that I've used Wampa with my CLS squad against a crew team just because of that healing immunity Zeta. So right now, I would say that the healing immunity Zeta is more valuable.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to describe it. A year ago, I think the Cornered Beast Zeta was better, but now Furious Foe might be where it's at.
Yeah,
healing immunity.
Dude, how do you
basically
know?
Just doing
How do you
both.
know
I'm looking at it.
Okay, I was like, I don't have the abilities memorized, so I'm impressed right now.
No. I've got it up right next to me because I've been getting hit in my fleet shard by an enemy and wasting crystals hitting them back while we're talking.
You make a reasonable argument.
Yeah. So I brought it up because I couldn't remember which one I had either.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like the debate that Solo and I used to have, and still kind of have. We used to debate which Night Sister lead was best, and I argued that Asajj used to be best because you need more damage, and he used to argue that Talzin was best for nonsense reasons. But then
the right reasons.
But when Relics came out, I shifted my perspective a little because Asajj is like you could get enough damage on your team without using Asajj lead, basically. And but what you really want, what you can't get from Relics, is potency. And so I shifted, and then now Solo says that I've finally come to see the light, and I'm like, no, like you're finally correct.
Talzin lead has always been better. Funny enough, just today, because of the Galactic Challenge, I was talking to somebody, and they asked how to beat it. So I gave them the Talzin lead line with Talia instead of Spirit. And I know, Zareth, you did it with your R5 Spirit, yada, yada, yada. But he's like, God, I haven't used the Asajj lead in like over a year. I was like, yes. No, you haven't.
Oh, an Asajj lead 3v3 team, which I got a lot of success with last season, is Asajj, Zombie, and Newt. Newt, even if it's not in the leader spot, just because it's a 3v3 battle, Extortion really spreads a lot, even if he's not in the leadership position. So that team can get surprise amount of holds.
Yeah,
should try it out.
It's still ridiculous how much that Asajj Zombie Acolyte team. How many holds that gets? Like,
hey, you don't say that.
But and it works every once in a while on me too. Like, it's like I don't have enough on my roster that has an AOE just to take out that stupid Acolyte. Like, what the?
Well, that's where your R7 Plo lead comes in handy.
Right? Yeah. Right.
Dude. What was it? Last season I used God. What was it? It was Plo lead. I think I used Plo lead with I think it was Ahsoka and Ezra against a Newt lead, with Dooku obviously, and I forget who the other one was, to try to get them out of their stealth so that way I could target Dooku because I knew they were going to go first. And I don't remember if it worked or not, but I remember being very surprised that like we were just removing, and every time you remove it, like most people probably don't know Plo leadership, but like every time you remove the stealth, you get offense up. And so we were able to kind of like time out these big hits on Dooku, get him out, I think. And I think the other one might have been like Sunfac or something like that. And I think we did win it, but like it was just surprising. I was like, you know what, we're gonna use our freaking pro job here. It was pretty funny though.
Dude, Plo sounds pretty good. But what about K2SO?
Exactly.
All right, guys. Actually, so true story here. Our podcast ran ridiculously long this week, so we have a bunch of podcast questions, and they all apply to 3v3 because everybody knew 3v3 is coming for the past week. So I want to move into these podcast questions just to actually answer people's questions. So the first one, Klesso, we're going to direct towards you, and it is
No pressure.
no pressure at all. So how do we get onto the podcast asking for a friend? So Klesso, how do you get onto the podcast asking for a friend?
First and foremost, be dope and stuff. Like, do dope shit all the time. And then I think that's key. No, I don't know. I'd be friends with you guys. I don't know.
All right. So for those of you that
a little bit of money, right? That's how I got on.
Always works. Always works.
Yeah, it was a little bit of.
That never hurts at all.
They also accept iTunes gift cards.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right. So, Kless, a real question though. In 3v3, how do you plan on using Piet?
So I was thinking about that. I honestly, if just not too long ago, I just mentioned he's one of the few characters that I literally have no clue what to do with. And when I was making teams tonight, I'm like, maybe a 3-man Imperial Trooper team is good. You know what I'm like? I don't know. Veer, Stark, and Piet, maybe they're good enough to do some real damage. But I don't know.
You'll have them all relicked at least. I mean,
yes. And that's the thing. Like,
well, do you need a Veer's lead at that point? You can run Piet, Stark, and Snow Trooper.
Yeah, I'm always assuming I need the extra 20 speed, but maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know. This first week is going to be crazy, but I can also, picture a scenario where, him with Vader and maybe Watt is amazing. Or
yeah.
I don't know.
Like I said there, Piet, Vader, and Sith Empire Trooper I'm planning on using them the first week. Second week, I might completely veer off and do something different, but that team just sounds so strong first week that I don't know.
Might veers off. Sorry, continue.
Oh, no. I just, Piet with Vader, because Watt's going to be needed somewhere else. Like, he's going to be needed in whatever. They're going to set 3 Galactic Legends on defense. I'm already ready for it. I'm already ready to cry that I faced 3 GLs on defense in the first week. So I imagine Watt is going to be with one of my Galactic Legend killers. But Piet is kind of like the poor man's Watt of Vader. I'm just going to make you hit harder. Here you go. Like,
right. Here's a bunch of potency. Here's a bunch of offense. Have fun.
Right. All right. So next question. We'll send this one to you, Ando. How are you planning on using Mon Mothma and Chupio in 3v3?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Like I was thinking about so I'm not convinced. Here's the thing about Mon Mothma. Like after seeing what she does with other like rebel fighters and some of the there's that ideal team, right? Like with the Zeta on POW and the Hoth rebels Scout and like all those guys, the guys that are just gaining that turn meter. And I'm not convinced though that like that team is going to be good enough to command like something good, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think that that's going to be a team that I'm going to rely on, especially in threes, because I don't think that team, you need that turn meter gain. You need the non-attacks, kind of like what Endal was pointing out for Mon Mothma. So I'm not sure how I'm going to use Mon Mothma. I do know that she's a Relic 5 character, so I have to find something to do with her. But I'm not certain that like the wedge bigs thing is like the answer, or like throwing Lando on there is the answer. So I'm not sure about her, but for Chupio, I feel like there's like endless possibilities. I've actually tested like Lando lead with like Chupio, and I think I put wedge in there, and like with that crit damage increase, the 29% plus like all the stats that you're ripping from Lando, but those AoEs like when you reshare it back out, obviously those AoEs start dealing like quite a bit of damage. So I don't know if that's like a defensive team. You know, there's always the old Ben evasion team too. I don't know as far as like Chupio. Chupio just feels like he can go in any team and just make it so much better. I was trying to get a Akbar team going because of the assists with the non-attacks, but then I found out that the middle ability is technically considered an attack. Because I kind of forgot about like that machine gun Leia thing. But I was trying to get like a machine gun Leia team going again with Chupio, but it didn't work. So, but I think like there's a lot of options because like we were talking about earlier, it's basically a second lead on that team. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
Real quick, just because it involves both of them, I was putting together. What do you guys think about like a Mon Mothma, Chupio, and Cara Dune team? Because Mon Mothma and Chupio kind of share stats. So wouldn't that extra boost stuff, like, is that a thing, or am I making that up in my head?
I think you're right. It's
yeah.
shared twice. Yeah.
Mm.
And then because then she brings in the ad who's an attacker, so you will have a little bit of damage. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's the first week. I mean, in theory, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
one of-
something I was thinking about.
one of the things which is really valuable in 3v3 is having someone who can dispel. And one of the benefits that Mothma brings is the
Right.
scout that she calls
Right.
dispels on
Basic.
the basic.
Yeah.
That's a really valuable skill to have. So even if you're not using Mothma on as the leader, you can
Yeah.
still plug her in with other rebels just if you want to have that dispel ability available,
Yeah.
because that's really valuable in 3v3.
Yeah. All right. So next question, I'll actually send to you, Endall. Where is the best use in 3v3 for the non-combatant tunes? So, like, you have the Watts, the 3POs, the Hodas. Where are you thinking about using them?
Yeah. So definitely all three, I'm going to use them on offense. So Hoda, it's a clear choice for me. Since I have Jedi Master Luke and I plan to use Luke on offense, my Hoda is always going to go with Jedi Master Luke. With Hoda and Jedi Master Luke, I'm able to defeat all sorts of Galactic Legends combinations: SLKR, Rey, other Jedi Master Luke. Probably not Sith Emperor, but at my level, I probably won't see a Sith Emperor. But yeah, so Hoda is always going to be with my Jedi Master Luke. I think they're a match made in heaven. C3PO, I'm planning to use with CLS and Chupio. I think that team is probably going to be a powerhouse on offense. I was testing out a little bit today, and yeah, those guys do tons of damage. Just because my Han and Chewie, I'll probably use with Rey or Kira. My CLS, Chupio, and C3PO, I think will be the place that I want to use them. There is a case to use C3PO with say a Mothma team as well, but or with Jedi Training Rey. I think that's another good option. Jedi Training Rey, BB-8, and C3PO is a superior offensive team compared to JTR, BB-8, and R2D2. So 2-3 places that you can use C3PO. And Watt, again, keeping Watt on offense. Watt with Vader is another great combination to use. But if I'm using Vader to solo like a G12 Geo team or something like that, then another team that I really like to use in 3v3 is Stormtrooper Han, Wampa, and Watt. That team has got me 54 banners against really, really tough teams. So I might use Watt over there.
All right. Okay, Zareth, next up is for you. Which characters should not be split up in 3v3? So obviously you have to split up teams for 3v3 since we have 5-man teams. Sure. Which characters have to stay together?
I mean, in my opinion, the obvious one is the Darth Revan trio. That squad is just so good together. That being said, Malak is kind of acting weird lately, as we already talked about, and I think that's going to play a part. Otherwise, we're in this weird stage right now in the game where every team should have a little bit of flexibility. I really don't know. Like, I would almost venture to say something like Finn, Poe shouldn't be pulled apart because they're just so strong together. And if you pull them apart, they don't necessarily make anything else way stronger. I guess maybe that's my answer actually.
Yeah. Well,
what do you guys think? I feel like I can't be the sole arbiter of truth here. You guys probably have a way better idea than me.
Well, I think Han and Chewie. I don't think it matters who the third is. I think you need to keep Han and Chewie together, and then JTR and BB-8. There's a couple of droids. JTR, BB-8 plus one, whether it's 3PO or R2. There's few teams that punch up in 3v3. I think Sith Trio punches up. Like they kind of lost their use in 5v5, but in 3v3 they get it right back. I think JTR, BB-8, and R2 for me, and I know other people use 3PO to the same extent. They punch up over what they normally can be used in 5v5. So I would say JTR and BB-8 you have to keep together at this point.
Yeah. My only argument to your Han and Chewie thing is like, how do you do a Han solo then?
That's true. That's true. And a Han solo
questions
in 3v3.
Think about that.
Well, if you're using your Chewie against SLKR with the gas 5's cheese, then
that's true.
You can use it Han solo.
There it is, right there.
That's
confirmed. Put it on the part counters.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Baka has got a point. Wampa and Endall can't be separated.
They cannot.
Good point.
To Forcey's point, did they acknowledge it? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything.
Here's the thing, though. I don't pay attention. They updated the dev tracker finally for the first time in 11 months.
Yeah.
And they want to use it again. I never looked at it. I never looked at it 11 months ago. I haven't looked at it recently to see if that's on it.
Yeah. I thought they did make it some sort of like, it was like a reply. It wasn't like a post. They were like, hey, we understand that, yeah, there's a little bit of an unintended interaction right now, but I have no idea.
They might have. I don't know. I missed it if they did. All right, so Klesso, next one's for you. What are your best two-man teams to get some underman stuff done without a solo? And examples he gives is Gas plus one, Treya and Scion. If you have to undersize something, what teams are you looking at to do that?
I can't eat, man. That's a hard question. I honestly, I can't think of a single time that I've had the opportunity to underman things in 3v3 other than just getting lucky and not knowing where I'm going to use my gas and being like, well, I guess I'm going to do this or my Jedi Knight Luke or something. But that doesn't happen very often in 3v3. 3v3 is more of a slog fest. And it's like, well, I guess I'm going to use 10 teams on this team, like, I guess this is where we're at. We may or may not clear.
Yeah.
Man, 3v3 is hard. I wish I had a better answer for that. maybe there's a scenario with Vader. Here and there. I don't know. Okay. One decent one could be Kira Nest.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. But, man, I can't think of too much in 3v3 where there's that many opportunities to undersize stuff in 3v3.
Yeah, I honestly think the ones that he named, like Gas and Ahsoka, if I don't need to use Gas for a Galactic Legend, Gas and Ahsoka, it was just like a common team because I needed one other 501st to give him the leadership ability to just go crazy if they get killed. Traya and Scion, like I said, they punch up. So Traya and Scion stopped being reliable against relict Geos.
Bugs, yeah.
Yeah. But in 3v3, it's much easier because they don't have all the shared hive mind abilities between all 5 of them. Now there's only 3 hive mind abilities. Other than that, I don't undersize really.
Yeah, I just put in the chat, but there has been a few times like on some of those like weird timeout teams like Xeris and like GK and like just like no damage teams that I've done like Nihilus and L3 before, like, or any pre-taunting tanks. It's just like you just sit there and you just watch as like Nihilus does 3 cooldown reductions to try to get the annihilate finally. But yeah, like eventually he'll start going off and he'll just kill them all one by one. But yeah, it's hard. Like 2-man team is like a lot of times if you need 2, you're probably going to need 3 just to be safe.
Right. Wait,
like once you hit a certain point, like my alt does it every once in a while. I'll tell you the biggest failure point. I'll kind of reverse the question a tiny bit. I would say like the team that makes me laugh the hardest when people fail is when they use General Skywalker solo against, insert team here. Like he just loses a lot, and it or like I'll see a video and it'll be like he'll almost be dead, and then he'll pull it off, and the person's like, "See, I told you it was gonna work," and I'm like, "Well, you were in control the whole time. Good job." I just
you got to give him somebody so he can at least sit down and stand back up. Otherwise, you stun him and it's game over.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, that's Ahsoka is always because my Padme team is Padme, Anakin, GK, and then so Ahsoka just has no home anyway. So I'm like, oh, you're 501st. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And then I use Gas for like Night Sister's cheese, and it's like, oh well, I guess that's overkill, but it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the last few seasons I've been using Nest pretty convincingly, as a solo character. Like, there's usually out of 11 teams, you can usually find someone that Nest can kill, on her own. But that being said, she's also a pretty good character on defense. I think Vader can do it if he naturally outspeeds the entire squad that he's facing, and it's the right squad. Otherwise, like Supreme Leader Kylo can solo things.
Right.
Yeah. Let's say you don't. There's a Grievous that you don't need anything else for.
Yeah, Supreme Leader Kylo's your man for that. Yeah, he knows his business.
All right.
If they have a Gear 1 team in the back because they thought you couldn't pass their Ray, Oh, you know what? Like, I bet that OG Kylo still beats any number of Old Republic teams.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, I forgot about that. And he generally doesn't get used for me in 3v3, so that's
Yeah.
I was still last season constantly using Crew, OG Kylo, and Watt for so many teams.
Oh, see,
Night Sisters or those Rex teams with the Rexalate.
Yeah. That's so smooth.
I was using KRU Fox Watt. So I wasn't using OG Kylo because I was using Fox with Watt instead.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that might. I think you're right. I think I'm lying. That's exactly what I did.
Right.
I didn't use OG Kylo. Psych.
But yeah, Klesa's
I
like,
was
yeah,
just-
I didn't lose 7 battles like using that team. You're right.
And I was agreeing with you just to humor you.
It's really because it was against me. It was Jared's like, no, Klesser's right. Yeah. All right.
So one deviation from that though, I will say, I didn't have too. You don't have too many opportunities, but every once in a while you'll see someone with a Zam lead, and like she's surprisingly good actually in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
Maybe not ideal, but she does all the thermals and stuff, and OG Kylo also does some work against that. And it's not just because he's a good character and Zam is horrible. It's because of all of the debuffs and stuff that happen to him. It ramps up his damage and he kills them really bad. It's fun. And thermals don't do anything to him.
Javas. OG Kylo is the perfect counter to Javas.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Oh, dude. And every once in a while you run into one of those eccentric guys with Relic 5 Jawas and you're just like,
Oh, no.
I got the guy for this. Apply Kylo here.
Follow me for more tips on YouTube.
All right, but before we get into the next one, let me just say a quick thank you to a Sith from Star Wars and Ezra Wren lover. Thank you for the follows, guys. Next one, this should be a good one for Endall because he likes to handicap himself because GAC is too easy. What are some better, maybe underutilized leaderships that become more useful in 3v3? Such as, and he gives examples of Dengar lead, Stormtrooper Han, Darth Sidious, but what are the non-expected leaders that you use in 3v3?
Good question.
Great one for Endall.
That's
Obatley.
doing a facial hair theme this week, so
let me see. Unused leaders. Well, I never use Kira or Stormtrooper Han in regular 5v5s, who I end up using quite a lot. I'm actually planning to use Grief Karga quite a lot in my upcoming season of 3v3. Grief Karga has got a leadership which gives extra protection. The contract is reached by bounty hunters attacking out of turn. So if you have Grief and Bosk, that's like 6 out of turn attacks right there because of their mass assists. So I think Grief Karga, Bosk, Dengar, that might be a good combination. Grief is something I'm going to be exploring a little more. Maybe Grandmaster Yoda given that Grandmaster Yoda has now fallen out of the mainstream Jedi teams, so Grandmaster Yoda and maybe like some other Galactic Republic and Cam, that might be a pretty decent team as well. It's going to be extremely fast. It's going to be hitting hard because Grandmaster Yoda is support. And apart from that, Piet lead is something I'm planning to use with Vader. I think that's definitely a good option. Maul. Oh yeah, Maul is something which I almost never use in 5v5. But Maul, I just got him Zeta like a few months ago. Maul with say Dooku and then Nest. You keep a character who's high damage dealing like Nest or Wampa and who counters in return. Maul and another Sith who go on stealth with a character like Nest or Wampa will be another great lead as well. And then I mentioned Poggle as well some time ago. That I think is a severely underutilized lead in 3v3s.
Yeah. Actually,
I love Poggle lead.
Yeah.
So,
Ando.
Here's what we're gonna do, brother. Is we're gonna have you connect through Zoom to my stream, and I'm gonna do like the voice commentary, and no one will know that you're actually controlling it, but you'll be doing my attacks. If you're good with that.
Can we all just put it in the pot now and let all of our battles?
Endall, I am streaming it this time, and this time. Be available.
Gonna call it?
Yeah, people are like, Endall, how'd your 3v3 season go? He'll be like, I went 60-0.
But I would love to play around with some of the toys that you guys have, Relic Troopers and SLKR and all that.
But,
We're gonna
yeah.
try. Maybe someday we'll have to try a swapping accounts thing where
Yeah.
That
where
would
we
be
don't
fun.
admit we're swapping accounts. But
No, we're not. We're not.
It's going to be a Friday night fight night where Endall plays all of our accounts. We're all there, and we're all just sitting there back drinking, just hammered, watching him do all of our accounts.
It's like, Solo, you were trashed. How did you get 60 on every fight? I don't know.
yeah, ask Endall. He probably has some insight there.
Endall helped me. Wink, wink.
Zareth is like, yeah, I think I'm probably about to do a bit. No, I'm just kidding. I did a special. I did a second special there, of course. That makes sense.
I'm so smart. Look at that special I used.
Like, I didn't even know I had that special, but I used the heck out of it.
But speaking of mall lead, Ando, didn't you... I watch so many streams now, I forget. Wasn't it you that went up against Maul, Malik, and like Red Trooper?
Yeah. That team caught me off guard. I was like, I didn't even like. It's been so long since I like had even tried against a Zal lead, and they had a pretty fast like nihilist. I want to say it was like 260 or something like that, 270 or something like that, and. By the time I didn't even remember like you factor in the 20% turn meter off the bat. So I was like, yeah, I'll bring in my Sith Empire, and their Nihilus and their Scion outsped my 320 whatever it was, Darth Revan and Bastila, and so he got the cooldown reduction right on me, and he got pain on me as well. And I was like sitting there like, wait, what's happening right now? And like Red Trooper's just assisting the entire time. So he's like knocking down health and protection on me. And I was like, what the heck, man? Like, this is insane. And I did finally, like, I got it down till I don't remember who I killed first. I don't remember. But yeah, the final blow was Nihilus annihilating Dreven. And I was like, wow, that was incredibly embarrassing. Because I totally didn't check that.
I remember watching that fight, and you were like, all right, this is going to be a win. And I was like,
yeah,
this is going to be a win. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, we're going to... I mean, Sith Empire's going to crush these guys, right? Like, I go in, and I just get, like, schooled. And I was like, I completely forgot about the 20%. Like as soon as the fight started, I was like, wait, why did they start first? And I was like, holy crap. They get, like, 20% turn meter right off the bat. And they must have like super fast Sith in there, and yeah, it was just bad.
In one of my five.
Go ahead.
Hold on, did we just come up with a counter for Darth Revan?
Basically,
yeah.
And what is it? Because I need to know that.
Yeah,
this was a little bit. This was a little bit because he had a extremely fast. It was like I want to say it was like 262 Nihilus, and his Scion was faster. So like if you do the 20% rule on that, like it was I think like they just outsped my Dreven, right? Like mine's like at like 320, I think.
So you didn't
which
have
isn't
Malik.
super fast. Did I have?
I
couldn't have because they couldn't get turn meter gain.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it did.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and watch the video, like exactly what I had. I just remember I put in. I remember my team was Dreven. Oh yes, because you know what happened. I put a lot of times in my recent matches, I put Malik with Ray. That's probably what ended up happening. So yeah, I probably did not have Malik in there. But yeah, it was insane. Like I was just like kind of taken aback. Like I was like, okay, we'll take the first. Wait, what's happening? Why am I cool down? It was so dumb.
But that's actually a good point. I mean, if you're facing a Darth Revan team which is faster than yours, maybe take in a Maul lead with Darth Revan and Basti, and then both your Darth Revan and Basti with the 20% speed.
Oh, that's true.
That could be a way to control the battle. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they don't have the Malik. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, as long as they don't have Malik. That's important. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I on my alt account, on my main account, I just put the Darth Revan trio because I have good mods on my main account. My alt account is nowhere near as good, and so I would do a what was it? It was Maul, Dooku, and Malik lead, or not Malik lead, Maul lead, but with Dooku and Malik in the back zone every time. And I probably got 4 or 5 holds out of that team. Just because people would get to it. And my Malik on that account is still modded, at like 300 speed. And then you add the 20% turn meter. And I mean, Malik was just like destroying people. So I never advise splitting up the Darth Revan trio in 3v3. But if you have to for some reason, on my alt account, that team worked fantastic. And all that's probably sounds bad. My alt account is sitting in your GP level, but like it's sitting there because my alt account my alt account is 6.4 million,
which is higher than my
right. But it's nowhere near as good. Trust me. But I found a way in 3v3, and I need to go back and look now. Cause I set that Maul team every time, and it got me serious holds of just Maul, Malik, and Dooku. Just because they would evade, they would stealth, and then Malik was just there to be like, nope, I'm going to drop fear on you, sorry.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
One lead that we didn't really mention, and I know, like, again, people's, like, their thought is like, hey, don't split up the Sith Empire, but like if you do, one that like really just kind of surprised me was I used to put my Gear 8 Savage Oppress lead with a Malik and a Nihilus. And it was like because the cooldown reductions happen, there's tenacity, there's a lot of tenacity, there's a lot of defense. It's really hard to get through these guys. They're getting feared because Malik is taunting. And it's just going to allow Nihilus to sit back there and under a taunt and get annihilates in there. It was like one of those weird things, like because, the tenacity, you can't get ability blocks, you can't get healing immunities on him. The defense, like it's harder to get through him. It was just like one of those weird teams where like, because no one really knew what a Gear 8 Savage lead would do to a Malik and a Gear 12 Nihilus, it was like people just failed on it all the time. Like I would see them underman it all the time, be like, oh, well, whatever. Like I'll just kill Malik. And it's like, they would be in the battle for 5 minutes, but like Nihilus would annihilate all of them type thing. It's like 3 ticking time bombs with the, with all 3 of them having sort of like a destroy mechanic to them. But yeah, it was kind of crazy to see that. It's those teams, like everyone kind of knows like how to game the other leads that like we see all the time. It's those weird ones that you're like, I've never, like, when's the last time I've seen a Savage lead? Like never, it's just like kind of like you don't know how to anticipate what that interaction looks like. So
yeah, that's what I love about that's what I love about 3v3s is you get to play these weird combinations that you really won't see in 5v5s, and that makes the game so much more creative and exciting.
Right. Well, it's that shock. It's shock plus 2 clones. You pick the clones and add them to shock T. And Malik, there's like a 50% chance that Malik solos it, but you add the Savage lead, and he wins every time. Like, you just add that extra defense, and it's like, okay, I can live long enough to drain you. You're done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, guys, I'll be back in 1 minute. Keep going.
No problem.
You're right. Like, I remember I stumbled on that. I'm not saying that I invented it exactly like I did independently discover that, though. One time I was like, man, I want to use Malik to solo something here, but like it's always so dicey against the clones. And then I was just looking at the different Sith leaders because you may as well if you're gonna throw Malik in there and you can spare the banners. It's like all I need is a clear. In which case I don't know why I'm trying to solo things with Malik, but beyond that though. Like, I was looking at all the leads, and I was like, oh, dude, Savage actually has a pretty legit lead. Like, he dies immediately because he's only Gear 8, but But then Malik's like, I will avenge you. And, he's like,
Yeah.
and then he's like, actually, I'll just kill them for my own sake. But yeah, like it's pretty legitimate. Like Savage lead in 3v3 can make Sith teams way harder to kill.
Right.
Yeah.
But on offense. We should stress on offense, because Blade mentions it, and Abattoir as well. KRU just destroys any of those non-Darth Revan Malik teams.
But a lot of people use, like, obviously you guys are cut from a different, fabric, but like a lot of people would put KRU on defense because
That's true.
He is a team that, like, everyone just is like, oh yeah, KRU plus two other guys, and there you go, you got your team that rips away banners.
That's
Yeah, KRU is one of those guys that I always keep on offense. I mean, not just for a Malik cleanup, but if you're facing some of these Rex comps with KRU in there, and if you're able to maintain the taunt on him, you can take care of any of these clone comps with no fear of the Rexilate. So it's
right.
And I'm so sad you called it a Rexilate.
A Rexilate? I was hesitating. I didn't know what I should be calling it.
Rexecute, brother.
No, he got it right. He got it right. But while we're on this subject of talking about Sith teams, please, for the love of Ando, do not place EP Bastila Malik. Because it's not going to do... It's not going to do...
Arnold, guys.
Actually, all my opponents, please place this team so I can beat it with Jedi Knight Revan and just move on to the back zone. Everybody else, it's not better. Like, I know you think you're being clever because you're going to save Darth Revan HK and say Marauder for offense, and then you have this fantastic defense. It's not a fantastic defense team. Like, they're start in 10 seconds or so, because I clicked start streaming again.
Yeah,
We're
it's
on.
back. Yep.
All right, we're back. God.
We're back with 0 views.
Do we have an Prime, it wasn't internet disconnected because the Zoom call stayed active. It was OBS just crashed for some reason. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, as I was saying...
What happened to Klesso the other day when he mysteriously killed a Darth Revan team?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was really well done, though.
But yeah,
It got great banners.
It totally did.
EP is not the solution for Bastila and Malik. Like, it is not. It can be killed by so many teams compared to if you just, well, I don't know now because Malik is so messed up with the AI, but that was the best non-GL defensive team in the game with Darth Revan. And then people were like, oh no, split it up. Trust me, it'll work well. And it went from the best defensive team to like, it's a team.
Yeah, the Malik AI thing, like, it's gonna be one of those things where, like, they randomly fix it in the middle of 3v3, and so we're like, oh cool, like, yeah, gas totally works against this Malik AI now, and then we'll just like go in and it'll be like failed terribly, and you're like, oh no, I'm now one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to relive the glory days of people barraging me with like, dude, I got the worst RNG.
I'll be like,
General Skywalker lost to Darth Revan trio.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, my stream crashed. That's what ended up. BlueStacks crashed.
Yeah, right.
Preloaded everything.
I know. That's really funny. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do actually with that bug with Darth Revan. I'm like, I do just by default I keep that squad on defense, and I hate splitting them up because they are just infinitely stronger.
Oh yeah,
if you just keep them all together. Like, there's no combination of like dispersing that squad in 3v3 that is somehow better.
I would still keep that squad on defense because. Yeah, I mean, you may not get holes, but at least it'll still pull one or two good teams, which is going to be
Right.
the main purpose, because that team is going to be out in the front, and whatever surprise you have for them at the back, you want to pull at least a couple of good teams out so that they struggle at your back. So I think I'm personally planning to still keep that DR team in the front.
Right. Well, it's the question that I asked at the beginning of the stream of, if they have Jedi Master Luke, do you end up keeping that team for offense, though, just in case, so you can, roll through a Jedi Master Luke lead team?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a good answer. Like, I don't, because that Darth Revan team, for the past, since last March, has been the best defensive team in 3v3 outside of Galactic Legend. So I don't think that there's a good answer. It's just, do I do this, or do I risk Jedi Master Luke on defense? Like, I don't know.
Yep. When it comes to 3v3, like, the first thing that I actually do is I check their Revan speed, and then I check their Basilisk Sean Fallen speed. That's my first two things that I do.
Yep.
And if I outspeed them, cool, we're placing it on defense. If I don't, I usually still place it on defense.
Right.
I'm like, we'll put it on the burner.
I never
Why do they
bothered
check that.
Right. I never bothered because I put it on defense 100%.
Right, I did too. It was like, oh, new roundup, Darth Revan, first team on defense. There you go.
I would say a very close team, a non-GL team very close to the 3v3 Darth Revan team would be the very fast Shark T under Jedi Knight Luke team.
Yeah.
That increases in efficiency. I mean, in a 5v5 setting, Vader gets tons more speed. So a 250, 260 Vader going up against a 5 Jedi team can easily outspeed them. But in a 3v3 setting, the bonuses that he gets with the 3 Jedi on the team are way lesser. So my 320 Shark T, for example, is going to outspeed any Vader up to 270 speed.
Yeah.
So Jedi Knight Luke, I think, is a very close second in terms of tough teams to take out in terms of 3v3 after Darth Revan.
Yeah. Last night, I actually just sped up Shock T basically for that reason. It was just, Shock, you're going with Luke, and be as fast as you can. Like, here you go.
What kind of speeds are you putting her at, Endall?
My Shark T is at 336 right now.
Oh, good lord! I'm not that fast.
Yeah,
I am not that fast.
I think my Shark T has got the second best speed set after my Darth Revan.
So here's why I technically, like, here's why I don't follow, like, but like, obviously Jedi Master Luke changes things, but like, why I didn't do what you did, and why I'm actually probably not planning to do what you did, is because Han Solo ends up, like, so I've seen teams like with Thrawn, Han Solo, and Chewie that end up like absolutely destroying the Jedi Master or Jedi Knight Luke team, because you can just, Han shoots first and then fracture Luke. But like, that's why Hermit Yoda is so good. If you can get him to a fast enough speed, he starts off at stealth, so you cannot, like, I actually made that mistake. I think it was last 3v3. I was like, I was just taking this Thrawn and Han and Chewie. It can't be stunned. All this other good stuff. And I totally forgot that, like, Hermit Yoda starts in stealth. And I was like, holy crap, I'm so screwed. Why did I think this is a good idea? But I don't know. That Shock T is impressive. That's
I mean, that Shark T is going to outspeed most Darth Revans as well.
Right.
The level that I face, because Darth Revan is another hard counter to that JKL team.
Yeah, that's great. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thought. I've resisted remodding my account for 3v3 for so long, and yet I went 8-4, which is my worst record ever in 3v3. Last time we did 3v3, or it's my worst record ever in Grand Arena, and the other 3v3 seasons have all been my worst seasons. Like 5v5, I've gone 10-2 or better, like 11-1 or 12-0. And every 3v3 season, it's like 9-0 or 9-3, 9-3, 9-3, and then 8-4. I'm like, I can't survive it. Like the GA Center standings, it's like I have more losses in one season for 3v3 than I do for all 3 of my 5v5 seasons combined.
Yeah. Well,
It's nuts.
speaking as the guy that's one loss behind you, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, just maintain what you're doing, man.
Right. Just keep it up.
Dude, and I don't want to hear
what's
anything
this
from you.
GAC center you guys are talking about?
The thing that you're winning, all right?
The thing that our group is collectively dominating at.
Yeah, we're awesome.
Back. Ando, didn't you pass Rambam?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's all that matters.
Keep up the good work.
I was actually just about to say, Ando, I don't want to hear any crap from you while you're still focusing on trying to beat Rambam.
Hey, listen. There's it's the matchmaking, okay? I'm just kidding.
Dude, it's the
Yeah.
RNG.
Honestly, like I feel like I've been doing decent. The problem is like every round I find someone that just like I just look at their account and I'm like they've got a better account. Like they should win.
You faced what, Fatal and then Pyro?
Yeah.
You did. You faced Pyro twice.
Yeah.
Pyro's a good player.
You beat him twice, so or you beat him once. Going
No,
1-1 against
it was
Pyro's good.
No, I went 0-2 because the first time it was I had to 6-shot his fleet. That was the one time where I was like, it was like I brought in a normal, like I would have beat him if I beat him on the first round of fleets, right? Like, and I brought in this was back when we only had one fleet, and he put his negotiator out, and I was like, oh cool, I'll underman my malevolence on this guy, and like it works every single time, and that time it didn't.
It's like Colt 45.
Yeah, and like I was like struggling. I was like, okay, like I've never been in this scenario before, so let's just try. Like, and it didn't just like where it's like, okay, wow, that was just unlucky. It was like, wow, we didn't even kill Anakin. Like it was like what happened here? Like I don't even know. And we had to 6-shot his fleet, and like I was beating him on banners all the way up until fleets this time, and. The way that I know that we were beating him really, really good was because I 3-shot one of his fleet and he 2-shot one of mine, and I still lost only by 6 banners. And but yeah, like he's always just been like one of those guys where it's just like I feel like I played into his hand both times. Like, and I almost won another rematch, but I'm afraid of what that might. Like, I'm afraid of losing 3 times.
I was so angry or frustrated for you.
Control it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
that second time when you were winning 2 banners going into fleet, I was all ready to talk crap because we have a guy in our guild that's friends with Pyro. I was so ready to talk crap to him, and I was like, God damn it!
Yeah. I mean, it's not unlike anyone, obviously. Like everyone's got hard matchups, but like it seems like every week, like especially this past one, I faced someone that was just like, God, like. That guy is so freaking good. Like, there's no possible way that I'm beating this guy.
Well, that's like last Grand Arena. Oh, Mudbum with the raid. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Should I do the whole welcome to the Star Destroyer? I can't do it half as good as him.
The Bumperial Star Destroyer.
Yes.
That was a terrible impression.
But so, last Grand Arena, everyone's talking about like their easy first weeks, and I looked at my first week, and everybody had like 450k plus lifetime banners, and I was just like, this sucks. Like, this is... And I think I had somebody from Abattoirs in the chat, like, I feel like every Grand Arena I get matched with somebody from Wolfpack, and then I immediately, and I mean immediately, have a rematch with them the next week. It's like... Oh, you're the third fight here? Congrats, you're the first fight the next round. It's like, I can't do this many Wolfpack battles. Like,
yeah.
Dude, this is like the prime time. Abattoir just said that he's going to get Sith Eternal Emperor before the first match of Grand Arena.
Wow.
Of 3v3, and that's gonna boost his GAC match, his pairing level to probably right around mine. And we're going to have our number 4 here. And he's going to hide Sith Eternal Emperor in the back zone, and I'm going to convince myself that it's not back there, and then I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
As long
as it's going to suck.
As long as I don't have GOM times 3. because I had GOM twice in 3v3, and I was like, I hate 3v3, but it's freaking GOM. I have to try, and damn it. All right.
Yeah,
The weird thing is,
the matchup.
me, Solo, and Zareth are all playing each other's opponents.
We are.
Yeah.
Every week.
Right, but we're not playing each other for
It's a matter of time before one of you gets matched up.
I don't want any of you guys. I don't want Gom. I don't want the Abattoir. I don't want any of it.
Yeah.
Dude, just imagine how many views we'd get. We'd each get like at least like 200 more views.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh god, yeah.
Like 200. Can
Yeah,
you
that's-
imagine?
That'd be 200 more people that watch me lose. So I don't really care about that.
And it was like, me and Pyro are here too, guys, in the same group.
Yeah.
No, speaking of Pyro, by the way, just to rewind just a tiny bit, I found out I didn't even realize you were facing him. Like I didn't look at your opponent's name. Like when you had that match against him, the first one, and you were like, dude, so Zareth, how do you do the bounty hunter thing against Darth Revan? Like I hear that works. And I was like, I don't know, just take bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And then you won. But then I found out about it because of a guy that Solo coaches. Like I just happened to be randomly, like it's this weird like 3-way chat that like Solo coaches him, and I just every once in a while like pop in to add some like just random like shenanigans. Like I don't even help at all.
He doesn't.
Like
Yeah.
at all. But the guy's like close friends with Pyro, and so he posted like he just added a screenshot of Pyro saying like and then he was talking about he was about to fight against you, Endo, and he was like and I remember that Zareth helped coach you with the bounty hunters, and I didn't appreciate that. I was like wow, that's some like really like that's like some third or fourth hand drama right there.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
And no disrespect to you or anything, but like I think they played that out a lot more than what I thought. Like I think they like because like when you stream, right, you're like really focused on your battle, and you were chatting for sure. Like I'm not saying that you weren't helping or anything like that, but it was just like by the time like the chat hit me, it was like I had already done what I was gonna do type thing, like I was just like I'm not gonna wait on Zareth to like just walk me through this battle. It's just like I feel like it kind of got the grasp of this. Like hopefully it's right, and most of it just so happened to be kind of like what you were saying. Like,
well, we have the.
You also have to remember that a lot of the chat is telling you to do stuff like Han Solo stuff. So
no, that's me telling the chat that I'm gonna do that.
Well, that's like when I went against Zareth's guildmate, and half of Hoth Ski Patrol was in my chat, and it's like they're telling me to do all this stupid shit. And I was like, I can't. What? Oh wait, you're for the opponent. Never mind. Damn it.
But yeah, that is very true.
So yeah, like, and the thing is, I think you would have just gotten there on your own. But what the funny thing was, like, he took it personally enough to tell his friend about it, who happened to be the guy that Solo's coaching, who I just like am randomly in the same chat with. It was just like the most random way to find out that he was like angry about that.
And actually, Klesso and Deranged, if you're there, shut your ears. Like, we were our friend is actively trying to recruit him at that time. And he's like, oh man, you just helped Ando beat him. That should help us recruit him. Except for why would you leave an FC guild for hours? That's at the end of the day. That's the question.
Yeah, those fights are always fun. Like the last one that I had with Pyro was insanely fun though, because like I encourage everyone, like if you know that like you're like, don't be the guy that like gets matched up against a content creator and is just like, oh, I'm just gonna like change up everything and not say like, like reach out to them, just be like, hey, do you want to do something for this? Because like it's insanely fun for them, it's insanely fun for you, it's insanely fun for the audience. Like when we went 1-for-1, it was super cool. It was basically as close as you can get to a live PvP,
Yeah.
Like, it was just like he went, and it was like, okay, like this is a scoreboard. It was like, this is how many banners did he get versus mine? Like, and I was writing it down. Like at that time, I was like, okay, cool. Like he got 56. That means I can afford to lose some banners on this battle, and take a little bit of a riskier, plug on this, because I know I need to save that team for up top. And it was just insanely fun because you had to do it all on your feet instead of like, just like I've got all the time in the world type thing to plan out my attacks. But it was really, really cool. Because I know like Zareth, like he gets guys that just like, they're like, oh, I'm facing him, but like they don't talk to him, and they're just like, oh, I'll just change up all my defense and make it super, super hard.
Like, don't get Zareth started.
You're right, man. You don't get me started.
Which battle was this? The second one with Pyro? I need to go check this out. It sounds like an interesting match.
It was. It was actually the only week 4 one that I uploaded, because the other ones were just boring. Like they didn't even clear. I think both of them cleared maybe my front zone, but they didn't clear anything else. So it's my only week 4 battle that I uploaded.
Got it.
Because everything else was so kind of meh. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it was really, really fun, man. And like in that video too, I clip into like when he starts his battle versus like what his score was on that. I'll be like, oh, he got a 62 on this. Holy crap! Like, puts the pressure on us.
Dude, that's one of my favorite things about the Eabator fights I've had. Like he attacked, like the times that he's been on stream with me, and he just attacks at the same time, like simultaneously. Yeah.
Well, they just happen to be Friday every time, which is fantastic for me. I will never forget the day that your fleet crashed, and it was like this feeling of Eabator's like, oh, I just saw this, I'm so sorry, I backed out, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Dude, I still can't believe that. No one.
I still want to know what would have happened if neither of those things happened.
Right?
I think it would have been like 1 or 2 banners, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like, oh god.
Oh man, that was the best match. I put the thumbnail on my fight. I was like, the best GAC match I'll ever play, and people are like, that was such a clickbait.
But it's not.
It's not. It wasn't.
Yeah, everyone was like, but it delivered. Like,
I mean, living it live, that was ridiculously fantastic Grand Arena to not be participating in.
Like, as of right now, I think when I get to the pearly gates, that's what I ask God. Like, what would have happened? I want to know. Like, who would have won that match?
Yeah, that was I'm pretty sure that might have been either it was the first or one of the first live streams that I caught from you, Zareth, and that was when I was like, wow, this guy's trash. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
I don't even remember who did we have on stream with us that night.
we had kind of had Clash.
Oh, that was the Clash night. That was the Clash night. That was the Clash night. Yep.
Yeah, because it was like happened right. He got on like before we finished the match, but right after the fleet thing, I think.
He joined. We were saying our goodbyes, and Clash was like, "Hey, I woke up." He's like, "All right, we'll keep going then."
Yeah. So actually, he had just gotten in before the fleet battle, and he was like, he made the comment. He was like, if your opponent has any honor, he'll just exit right now.
And he did.
And then Eabator is like, okay. I have honor. I can do that.
Classic.
It was funny, man. Yeah, it was great. That match. It's like that's one of the great things about live play is like that kind of thing isn't possible if you're just like, playing on solo and it's fine. It's fine if you don't, obviously, but like that's one of the draws for me is I just like having that moment of, like, what's going to happen if I can't beat this Ray team? Like, I'm just screwed. And I have 80 people watching me. And like everyone is like kind of hoping I win and a little bit hoping I lose because it's going to be epic either way,
I mean, I always have this thought of if they just let us do our own GACs, like, run your normal one, but also let us challenge people.
Oh, yeah.
can you imagine the kind of betting lines we could have? Like, I'm not kidding. We could have like,
oh, you could. Yeah.
Like, as much as people spend on this game and everything else, and like this, it could get real. Like, we could set up our own tournaments, and
that'd be the big thing there.
It could be legit. It would be amazing. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, maybe that's why they don't do it.
Right.
You can't get a cut of it. Yeah.
And Klesso just lost his house.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, Crumb, contact us. You can get in on this.
Yeah.
We were like, wow, Klesso thought he could beat Solo's alt.
Right.
And he lost his house because of it.
Well, so somebody said as a joke, I forget what stream it was on, but it was like talking about Fruit Ninja Mike, because obviously he and Endall are in like runaway for their division, GA Center. Like, how would your alt be doing there? And so I did the comparison. I was like, well, except for his is a little closer to the second GL than mine is. So it's like, my alt would lose. I would give it a hell of a fight, though.
Yeah, your alt is like, it's not. I feel like you should just always say that it like.
It's not an alt.
You should lead up with the fact that like you should say when you mention your alt, it should always be with the preface that it's 6.5 or whatever it is. Like, because that is not an alt to me.
My almost double Galactic Legend alt. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. When I think of alts, I'm like, oh, cool. Like, what are you, Division 3, Division 2, maybe even lower? Right. And you're like, no, yeah, like I face the same guys that you face.
Yeah.
Well, so,
beat them.
but here's the thing with the alt, because it is a free-to-play alt. I cut so many corners. Well, now. I cut so many corners. Like, when they added the second fleet, I still only had a 5-star Hyena and a 5-star Vulture. Because when there was only one fleet, I didn't need them. Like, I would set the Rebels on defense. I would have the Negotiator on offense. And that's how I was able to farm up for, my second Galactic Legend and Jedi Knight Luke. Like, I'm getting all these because I just basically ignored fleet. I had my arena fleet, and that was it. And now I'm paying the price. Because it's like, oh, I have this Malevolence with, thankfully now, a 6-star Hyena and Vulture. But it's like, it's just not the same, guys. By the way, did I mention I almost have my second Galactic Legend?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like, going back to the GAC, like, if you could challenge someone or, like, that would be so amazing for the game. Like, it'd be so good for streamers. Like, obviously, I'm biased, but, like,
can you imagine the GA Center where all 60 participants play against each other like an actual
oh, good lord.
tournament?
Oh, jeez, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I could actually go and challenge Fruit Ninja Mike. I mean, how awesome would that match be?
That would be amazing. That
would be epic. But then I think about people like Mandalore. Like, he has no business being in the same bracket as us.
Yeah.
Even Indigo, he's got such a high top 60 or 85. He does players that are crazy. Like,
I know. If you talk to Indigo, he's like, I just want my characters to actually be good.
Right. It's like, you got 87 gear set or relic 7s. What are you doing?
I just want them to be good. Yep.
And then he puts bounty hunters on defense. It's like,
but I'm just saying, there's a couple of those guys in our quote unquote elite division that there should be a division above us.
There should be.
It's not fair to compare what Mandalore is doing to what we're doing.
Or like Arnold. Like, Arnold's account.
Oh, he's up there too.
Yeah.
He, Indigo, Mandalore.
They just need to be their own thing.
Yeah. We're not facing the same.
Yeah, but dude, thing. I would love the opportunity to try against those guys anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Even though their rosters are stronger.
I do agree. I'd like to try it. I don't have a ton of hope.
Like,
here's the thing.
You have nothing to lose, though. It's like, guys, I'm facing a guy who's like way better in every way than me. So if I win, like shame on him.
Right.
And you win, you're like shame on him.
Yeah.
And also I'm epic.
Right. It would be what was the chick UFC fighter that's amazing?
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. Say you beat her in a fight.
Right.
Like there's no good you either got beat up by a girl or it's like or she's amazing at her sport. Like
well, that's like Gom was when we're running the podcast one night. Gom was in there, and I was complaining because it was actually one of the weeks that I lost to a Wolfpack guy, and then I got revenge the next week. I'm 50% against Wolfpack because we always somehow match up again the next week. But I was sitting there, I was like, every time I lose, I'm like, I was better than that guy though, but I lost.
Yeah.
Oh, almost all my losses have been against people that I'm technically better than.
Yeah.
But except there's been a couple, but a lot of the losses I've had have come at my own hands. You know what I mean? Like,
there's so many of my losses are because I did something stupid, and I'm just like, God damn it! If I just didn't do that.
Clisso's like, guys, I'm literally the best player, so any losses I take are against people who are technically worse than me.
No. There's been a few where it's been like, I don't know what happened. That like I just shit the bed for sure.
Right.
But then there's been a couple where I had no business winning. There's like last season or the season before last, I played Focht in Wolfpack, and he's way better than me. I got lucky. I had no business winning that. And there's been a couple, but then there's this one guy in I can't remember his name now, but he's had my number the last couple of times. We've played each other twice, but for the most part, I've had at least 4 or 5 losses where I'm just like, I don't know what happened. Like I just played one bad thing, and all of a sudden it's game over.
I still remember my one loss where I went into a back zone and I went against the Jedi Training Ray team and I mirrored it, and it's that stupid thing where like I haven't done a JTR mirror in 2 years since that was the meta. 2018, like the winter of 2018, or like January, February 2018 was when JTR was meta, and it's like I went in and I applied debuffs, and I forgot JTR gained turn meter on debuffs, and I got smoked, just like smoked. I was like, that's what I remember. Not the win against the guy that had 512 lifetime banners that like should have smoked me. No. I remember. God, I just lost against the JTR mirror. Like, JTR's my team. It's a team that I kept in arena for 6 months while everybody was running EP, Talzin, and Treya. Like, I kept winning with JTR, and that's the match I lost. Damn it! Like, that's on me, not the fact that my opponent one-shot full cleared me for like an average of 59 banners. No. God, I lost that match. That sucks.
I learn way more from losses. Like, I'll lose, and I'll be like, you know what? That was a good thing I lost. That was painful. Like, me and Klesto have talked about that before too. Of like, that every once in a while you go through a match and you're like, that was awful. I feel like I learned a ton. I lost it. That was horrible. And then your opponent goes and he just shits the bed.
Right.
Yeah.
And you somehow win, and you're like, win.
Right. I learned such a valuable lesson, but still somehow won.
Those are what I count on. Like last week. I went 3-0 the last Grand Arena week, and I thought I was going to lose 2 out of the 3 matches. Like, I finished the stream, and I was just like, mother effer, like, I'm done. And Zareth, actually, I know you were the same way, and it was like, we both went 3-0, and it was like...
Yeah.
How the hell did this happen?
Dude, I'll laugh forever about the Friday night stream we had last week.
Oh god, that was so bad.
It was like the good score is something like 21-20 or something, 21-30.
And
it was like
high, yeah.
And all three of us, Fruit Ninja Mike was the other person, and it was like the sub 1970 club.
It was like, we were so bad. It was like we all played like trash.
so none of us, we didn't necessarily play like trash, but they were tough defenses, and we had some bad RNG, and there was some misplays, absolutely, on all of our parts. And when
none of us scored over 2090, right?
I was the highest at like 2070 something. It wasn't pretty
bad
at all.
And all three of you won.
And we all won.
So we all like none of our opponents had attacked at that point, and so we all logged off. We're like, good night, everyone, and then we talked for a while. And Mike was like, so the odds of all three of us winning are like less than 5%, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, like one of us is going to lose, if not all three of us. And then we all won. So
crazy.
But part of that is
our house.
Part of that though is that all three of us set absurd defenses.
Yeah.
And actually, everyone on this stream right now sets absurd defenses too. And so, like, you can't count on them losing, but at the same time, it's fairly safe to say that they're going to get one loss against one of our defenses.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Well, and at the same time, I was pretty sure that one of us was going to win. I mean, if not two of us.
Right. And then both you and I won on solely fleets. It was like solely fleets that we won on.
Oh yeah, that guy played me like crazy. I mean, we're close. He was high enough banners. It's like
he was a good player too. Like that's
that guy. I don't have any shame at all. He knew his business, but.
Yeah, but that's another thing which is going to be different. This is going to be the first time we have 3v3 with two fleets, which means that even if you end up, underperforming in the character zone, your fleets can still pull off the victory for you, which really can get. If you've got a stronger fleet zone, that might actually play to your advantage over here.
Except for, I can't tell you, my first 2 weeks of 5v5 with two fleets, I set a Rebels team, and I don't have Biston geared. So it was just like, a Falcon, Biggs, and the Y-Wing. And I got multiple holds just because people didn't know. Like, it wasn't that it was a good team. But I got multiple holds just because, I'm not used to facing anything other than Negotiator or Malevolence. Like, what do I do here?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, this is going to be a very weird 3v3 because and this goes for every 3v3, but it's like so much has changed, right, since the last 3v3. It's like,
oh yeah,
2 new GLs were added, right?
Mothma, Chupio.
Yeah, Chupio, I think, was around, but you had to wail on him.
Right.
Like, back then.
Oh,
and
really?
it's like now, now, like, everyone's got them, right? Like, or most people in RGP, like, when we're talking about this, like, most people in RGP is going to have Mon Mothma at R5, Chupio at R5.
Jedi Knight Luke.
Exactly. Jedi Knight Luke. He's coming around. He came around for the second time. Now, like, there's just a ton of new Piet, right? Like, with Zetas and Relic out, like, it's going to be so different. And it always is. It's like, because so much time has elapsed from the last one. So it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I want to say that I know, but hopefully, like, my only hope is that my R7 Plo doesn't pull me into a 4GL match